Yo, what's up? Quick mic check. I have lights, LED lights on my Steel Series LA, so I think it's working. But if I could get a thumbs up out there that you guys can hear me. It's a Tuesday evening. No, it's shit. Last time I got the days wrong. No, it's actually a Monday evening. I'm sorry about that. Monday, November 3rd. A little short of a month since my last live stream. Even though it is a school night, we are drinking some Alcolo. I am slightly concerned. I have drank Alcolo before, and even though its taste is okay, it does have a high alcohol content. It does seem to affect me more than like a Cayman Jack. But my concern is when I got my last box of Alcolo from Publix, the local groceries chain down here, it was on clearance. It was on clearance, which makes me believe that they may not be carrying Alcolo any longer at Publix. So that'd be a bummer. So anyways, yeah, Alcolo tonight. I want to start the stream off thanking my channel members, something that I try to do at the beginning of every live stream. Sometimes I do better than others, but we're going to start off with it right now. Newest member, Rexy World. Rexy joined the last live stream, I believe. That's why it's been 27 days. I currently have 23 members. Medium Dog, Timothy Plumley, Electric Unicycle, Dale, which I saw Dale was here in the chat, but he says that he can't stay because he is working. He's working, which I have questions about because I didn't know Dale was working a normal job again. Brian McCann, Michelle Bardaly. Can you guys? You can probably see that. Michelle Bardaly, MUC and my EUC, Blue Collar Jose, Michael Lenarnik, Philip Arnold, Planet Iceland EUC, E. Simon, also in Australia, Garrett Taylor, Babbitt the Wabbit, on-air promo, also known as Larry Zarkoff, who's probably still celebrating the Dodgers' big World Series win, crazy series against the Toronto Blue Jays, a Viking, Brian Gonzalez, Doug Yetman, Ratman Murray, Black Crow, and it still keeps resetting as it has for the last several months. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm doing this on, maybe because that's Firefox. Maybe that's why it does it. Black Crow, I can do this. Senator Perry and Marty, and then finally Marty, who is Marty Eakin, and finally Stuart Ross. Marty Eakin and Stuart Ross have, and Senator Perry have been members for 55 months. I believe they joined about the time that I started offering membership. So thank you guys. I appreciate it very much. Appreciate my members. I appreciate anyone that checks out my content, but especially my members. You may see, look at this, right? This rash. I got a rash around both my eyes. And you probably saw it somewhat the last live stream. It's a very weird thing. Comes and goes. Like sometimes it's hardly noticeable. Sometimes it gets redder, and I don't really know why. My dermatologist gave me some like ointment cream stuff I've been putting on it for months. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. Doesn't really itch. Doesn't hurt. But it just has varying degrees of redness. This weekend I did get out and play pickleball for a number of hours, so maybe sun exposure has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know, but I just know I'm sick of it. First comment in here was from Chester Copperpot. Thank you, Chester. I can't say that I recognize your handle, Chester, but thank you for promoting people hitting the like button on the stream, which is the totally free and very easy way to promote the stream, that it both attracts more viewers while it's streaming, as well as being shown to more people on replay. So I do appreciate you doing that, Chester. Thank you. Bob Barnes just purchased a P6 from eWheels. Really? Okay, well, you sold your S18 and you're in Motion V12 HS Pro. So you still had to fork out, what, another $3,000? $3,500? I don't know what you sold those two wheels for, but they're not worth a ton of money. Wow. Yeah, I am curious. I mean, I see people on social media talking about, hey, order my P6. That's great. But man, it's a big investment. You know, if you're ordering it through conventional channels like eWheels or something like that, or I guess InMotion as well. You know, when you add sales tax onto a $5,000 purchase, it's a $5,500 purchase. That's crazy. I mean, when I first got into the hobby, if you would have told me back then, which admittedly was a long time ago, something like let's see, 2016, I think. If you'd have told me in 2016 that we would be buying electric unicycles that cost in excess of $5,000, I'd laugh. I'd be like, "What? You're kidding me, right? $5,000 for an EUC? No way." Of course, when I first started it, an expensive EUC was, I don't know, $1,200. So Spartacus loves the poll. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, up in the top of the stream, I have a poll where you can let the stream know how many EUCs you've bought in 20. You bought in. Wow. Alcolo's hit me already. How many EUCs you bought in 2025? My answer is sort of, well, things that I've actually, wheels that I laid money out for. I guess I should clarify that. Wheels that I've laid out money for, one, the Kingsong F22 Pro. I did pay for that. But then I took that wheel and I traded it through PEV Connection at Rob Lee for a NOSFET Aero. So that's another new wheel that I didn't directly pay for. I bartered for it, I guess. And then I also have the InMotion V12S that was sent to me by InMotion. I did not pay for that wheel. So I've actually have 3 new wheels in the household. Technically only paid for one. So so I guess if I was being factually accurate, my answer would be 1, because I only bought 1, but I really got 3. So Dale, like I mentioned, Dale, channel member Dale, can't stay. It's work hours here in Australia. I didn't realize that you were working again, Dale. Last time I knew you were still traveling, and I know that you ride in your Oryx. You had some issues with your Oryx, and you crashed your Oryx. And we will be talking about the Oryx. I did actually make some notes again, believe it or not. Look at me being all organized about the Oryx. So, but if you are still here, Dale, I'm curious what you are doing for work. Spartacus confirming that the audio is good. I had to mess around with my PC for like 15 minutes. It was acting all weird. Like when I was coming up in the StreamYard, the camera wouldn't initialize. The mic wasn't working right. I had to do some USB reconfiguration to get it working. Since this occurred since the last live stream, I put a new video card in my computer as well. It's an RTX. Boy, I should know this. RTX 9060, I believe, a Radeon. RTX 9060 with 16 gigs of video RAM. Added that. I was having some weird issues with the old video card where when I would go into my editor to edit stuff, it was just like crashing out and acting all annoying. So I just put a new card in it. We got some thumbs up about my audio, Knife 73, which I don't know if I've ever seen you in the live stream before, Knife 73, but welcome. And One and Only. Again, not sure if I've ever seen you in a live stream, One and Only, but thank you. Oh, One and Only might be one of my 3D subscribers. What do you think of the bamboo sale, the Black Friday sale? Well, I just got my last 2 boxes of filament. I bought 18 boxes of filament during the sale. And hold on one second. Hold on. 18 boxes of filament. Yeah, they have part of the sale, which goes through December 5th, I think, Black Friday sale. The more boxes of filament you bought, the more discount you got. And I think when I got up to 18, I got a discount of 45% off every box of filament. So I got a good discount. Spent like a couple $100 in total for 18 boxes of filament. So I have lots and lots of filament for holiday printing and whatever else I want to print. So Otherwise, in the sale, the Bamboo Lab A1, that's a really nice deal. Was it like $370 for an A1 with the AMS light? That's a good deal. I signed up another email address to the mailing list to get entered for the giveaway. They're giving away 20 H2Cs, the yet to be announced or yet to be displayed H2Cs, the tool head changing version of the Bamboo Lab printer, which everyone's looking forward to. But yeah, that's all that I bought off the sale. So yeah, I mean those there's good deals. I mean nothing that blew my socks off, but good deals. Duff is getting a pash rash. What's I don't know. What's a pash rash? It must be a Australian thing. Pash rash. Oh man, sounds bad. Scamster's here. What's up? What's up, buddy? Leo. Hey, Leo. It's been a minute, but I'm back. Too much work and traveling. Yeah, I don't think I saw you at the last live stream, Leo, right? You missed the last one? That's okay, man. Hey, life happens. It's fine. It's fine. Yes, I'm multitasking, I do that now and then. Scamster got his V12. Did I know you were getting a V12S, Scamster? 2 weeks ago, very nice wheel. I might sell my L and links to buy a P6. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious how many people can buy a P6 without selling some of their existing inventory. That's a big bite out of a lot of people's budgets. I mean, unless you're Marty, it's a lot of money per wheel. That being, and we'll talk about the P6, but I mean, for the most part, the P6, really, the biggest negative that you hear about the P6 is the price. Really, everything else, people are loving it. Just wish it wouldn't be so pricey to get into. And plus, in Motion, I'm not quite sure how this is going to be received. In Motion is doing the deal where it's a price lock guarantee, basically, like they're guaranteeing they're not going to drop the price below 5,000, and I think that's only good until November 10th, and then after that they're going to raise the price to 5,500. Am I accurate with that? I think that's what I saw. They changed that, or they tried that practice before with the Emotion V13. Remember, the introductory price on that was supposed to be $4,000. And then after the introductory period, it was going to jump up $500 or $600. I think it was up to $4,600. It was going to jump up to, and it turned out that wheel didn't have the numbers to back it up, and it never, as far as I know, never went up to $4,600. Now the P6, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if Emotion can hold those lines. Because bottom line is, as great as the wheel is, financial reality is not a ton of people can afford to fork out that kind of money for a wheel. And to be quite honest, I don't know how many people actually need that kind of wheel. I mean, how many people need a wheel that can go that kind of speed? I mean, has anyone done a range test on a P6? I saw Marty have one. I saw Marty, gloating over his, as he always does, standing in his yard with his wheel, looking all proud. But I assume that he would do a range test, but I've not heard any range numbers because all the focus on the P6 has been about speed. But I don't know what kind of range you'll get. But with the 4,000 watt hour, it's 4,000 and change, right? 4,000 watt hour battery should get some pretty good range if you're not going, 70 miles an hour. Okay, Dale's listening but can't chat. What did you get? Like a job at a church or a monastery? Dale? Never know. Murray's here, another channel member. Ratman Murray, another channel member from Australia. I have a lot of channel members that are from Australia. Leo's missed the last 4 to 5 live. Really, Leo? I knew you missed the last one. I made a mental note of it. The other ones, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I've only been doing like one live stream a month lately, so haven't been doing a lot of streaming. MIA since early August. What the heck, man? Where you been? Did you get like trapped behind enemy lines or something? What happened? Okay, so Stan confirming that the price of the P6 is supposed to inflate to $5,500, right? And it's not supposed to drop below that for a year. Am I relaying that correctly? Hmm. I mean, I understand that mentality, but I'm just curious how successful it's going to be. You know, if Pagode manages to come up with a wheel that's a competitor, you know, performance-wise to the P6, and they undercut them price-wise, guess what? Prices of the P6 are going to come down. But yeah, good luck with that, right? The Pagode, that's one of my topics about the Pagode race and some of the issues the Pagode race has had. And that wheel's kind of an ugly duckling now in retrospect. Spartacus says 5K is rough, but 5.5K? Dang. I don't know, Spartacus. I mean, to me, 5K is a damn number too. You know, if that wheel was 4K, great. Where did I see it posted? Bradley from EVs said this was not true, but someone posted that the dealer price on a P6 was $2,700. Supposedly, Bradley said that was not true. So I don't think Bradley would lie. But I am curious how much markup is in that, because I think it's a lot. Scamster wants the P6 for its apparent ease of acceleration. So, okay, yeah, it does accelerate fast, right? Didn't Kuji go 0 to 60 in was it 6 seconds? 6 seconds and change, which used to be a pretty admirable number for a car to go 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. So yeah, it accelerates very fast. But much like the need to go, 70 miles an hour, I mean, how many people need to accelerate that quickly on a wheel or would want to? Um, some, maybe Scamster, maybe you're one of them. But like I've always been with my riding, I've never been a type to hammer it on a lean, never. Um, Obviously, there are people that I guess it's a rush, or maybe they need to get out ahead of traffic. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, I'm fine paying $2,000 and accelerating at a much slower rate. Mamacita 1111. Good day, guys. Mamacita. Are you actually a Mamacita? Or you just like to call yourself Mamacita? I don't think I've ever seen you on live stream before, Mamacita, but welcome. The stream is actually streaming to Twitch once again to probably nobody, because nobody in Twitch really watches it. But it is streaming over there, just FYI. Dale, I volunteer Wednesdays feeding the needy, and I got some building work some other days. Really? Well, yeah, but over there it's Tuesday, right? So you're doing some building work, I guess, today, Dale, right? Because it's not Wednesday. So good. Well, I'm glad you're working. That's good. Pash rash is from kissing. Really? Okay. All right. That's an Australian thing. Never heard of that. One and only. I highly dislike emotions after pre-order prices going up to 6,000. If you want a 1-year warranty, that should be included for 5K. I like InMotion. I've done a lot of stuff with InMotion, but I agree with your statement. I think the pricing is a little crazy. And if you order, let's see. Let me I guess it's better to have a visual aid while we're talking about this stuff. Let's go to InMotion World. And okay. All right. Let's bring it in. Let's make myself really small. Okay. 235 volts, blah, 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 $49.99. So now where's the bonus deal? Okay, so all this. Okay, so all this stuff is included for another week, basically. The best value package ever. It's funny. Future Motion does this a lot with one wheel announcements. They'll bundle stuff in and act like it's just like the best deal ever. Um, the 1 year price guarantee, refunding the difference of price drops below 10, 10, 26. Okay. Again, like I said, it'd be interesting if Bagode would come out with something that is an equivalent performance wise for less money. If that would be like, how do you go about how do you go about collecting on that guarantee, right? I have a feeling it might be difficult. You get a 2nd-year warranty, $600 value for a 1 year warranty. Wow. Okay. A 14 amp charger, $500 for a 14 amp charger. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think the value of some of these throw-ins are inflated as well. It looks like a bonus seat, $99. The Ride Connect access, really. So that's what they're going to charge for it, $39 a year. I think that's the first time I ever heard of a value of what they want to charge for that Ride Connect access, which is basically a full-time cellular connection to the internet. Interesting that. So they're saying that if you don't buy it early, you don't get any access to Ride Connect, because I know with like the V9, the V12S, I think they include like a year at least of Ride Connect access without you paying anything additional. So that's interesting. And VIP US Service Center access. It is cool that InMotion does have a much more robust US Service Center network now. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. So I don't know. So that's over $1,000 in extras, huh? I don't know about that. Now, does it say what the price? Does it say what the price? It doesn't mention the increase of $5,500 after November 11th here, but that is what I heard as well. So, and we see various EUC YouTubers. Look at Chooch. I don't know if Chooch looks great with a beard. What do you think? I don't know, but he looks very wow. Look at him pointing at the P6. Wow, it's amazing. So yeah, that's the current state of the P6s. All right, hold on. I lost my spot. Okay, Mamacita. The price is $49.99, but after November 10th, it goes up to five. Oh, so it goes up. It goes up. Oh, okay. So it goes up. If you don't want the package, it will be $5,500. If you want the package, they're going to charge you they're going to charge you $59.99. Okay. Okay. I think I understand now. And okay, so $49.99 is without a seat and ride connect. Well, I also imagine it's without the $599 or $499 14 amp fast charger as well, right? Mamacita. Is it true the Oryx is being recalled? If so, Libra Kim stopped making big wheels. The Abrams was a disaster. I don't have that article pulled up in front of me. It was all over Facebook the last couple days. Libra Kim posted an official notice. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's see, Libra Kim. How quickly can I find this? Or how good is Facebook's search? Oh, that was pretty good. Okay. Now let's bring you back to Facebook. Right here is what they put out. Basically, my understanding is what was going on is several people reported cutouts, like failures. And it sounds like what was happening was motor bolts were coming loose and shearing. That's interesting. Like that was happening to V13s. I remember when they first came out, and those other wheels have had that issue as well. I'm trying to didn't some of the other veteran suspension wheels have an issue like this? Um, let's see. So the way that they worded it, it's come to our attention that a small percentage of Oryx motors may have experienced performance issues due to production and craftsmanship challenges at the manufacturer's facility. Oh yeah. Despite testing, these issues were not identified. But since this has started to be reported, they've reached out to motor manufacturers to fix the problem of both the structural integrity and craftsmanship of the motor. Says adjustments have already been made to the production molds, and we are confident these changes will prevent any future concerns. But as a precaution, they are doing a full recall of all Oryx motors. Affected motors will be replaced at no cost to our customers. So, yeah, if you have an Oryx, this would apply to you, Dale. Leaper-Kim will give you a new motor on their dime. So that's I mean it's concerning and good at the same time, in my opinion. Yes, it's concerning that this problem exists. But the way that Leaper-Kim is handling it, because it's going to be an expensive thing to fix. I mean, to imagine to do a warranty swap out on all of the Oryxes that have been sold, because there's been a lot of Oryxes that have hit the market already. It's gonna cost them a lot of money, but hopefully it will make up for that in customer goodwill, because it is nice that they are admitting their mistake and they are addressing it directly, because we have seen other companies not be quite so direct and not quite so willing to be responsible for issues with their wheels. So I think that's good that Leaper-Kim is doing that. But yeah, the Oryxes have issues, despite the initial glowing reports that many people gave that wheel. And I think it is still a good wheel, but there is clearly an issue with some of the motors. And I think some of the pre-production models had issues with the system board, and Dale had to have new shocks sent to him. Production shocks versus pre-production. I believe his pre-production shocks were leaking. So yeah, there have been a number of warts on the Oryx so far, but this apparently is the most dangerous one, and it seems like Leaper-Kim is going to be willing to address it. So that's good. It's good and disappointing at the same time, right? Because in general, I'm a Leaper-Kim fan, and it's too bad that they're having an issue with that wheel. Mama Sita says Black Cobra did a recent video where he tested the range, got 40 miles out of it, but on the way back he was getting a lot of what? 40 miles? How can that be? It has a okay. I still have it motion up here. I want to see the battery size. It's a 4,200 watt hour pack. How could he only get 40 miles out of 4,200 watt hours? I mean, Black Cobra, he can ride fast, but I mean, he wasn't doing 50 miles an hour the entire time. Wow, that's really interesting that he would only get 40 miles out of that. That sounds very low for that size pack. You know, that being said, I'm sure most people aren't buying the P6 to be a long range cruising wheel, but still, with a battery pack that size, it should get more than that. Buggy Danny says, my impression that the P6 has a price guarantee, and if they drop the price on it within a year, they will give buyers that amount back. Yes, that's what we just saw on their site. Spartacus agrees with the price of the wheel to a dealer. Like I said, Bradley disputed that. But then again, I mean, if it is true, Bradley might not want the public to know that as well. So but I think Bradley's trustworthy. I don't think he would lie, but he would potentially have a reason to lie, but I don't think he would. Mamacita, my real name is 8. Really? Are you like one of Elon's kids or something that your name is 8? Elon likes to name his kids like symbols and numbers and stuff. So, okay, Scamster giving a clarification on what he means about acceleration on the P6. What I mean is that it'll accelerate with less effort from the rider. If I'm tired, my L is a challenge, but if I could accelerate with less effort from me, perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe higher end riders. I'm not a high end rider. Higher end riders, they want to accelerate more. With me, the way I ride, I mean, I rarely touch my pads. I have big feet. My feet apply enough leverage usually to accelerate and decelerate me. So I'm not doing rapid accelerations. Um, Same thing when I rode the Sherman L. I mean, it felt like it had good power to me, but I never did any sort of uh, hold on to your pants accelerations on it either. So yeah, I'm sure it will accelerate quickly, Scamster, if that's important. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it to some people that means more than to others. Mamacita, a bit of both. My real name is in there. Asita. Okay, gotcha. Dale says, "Are they going to guarantee the price will go up $1,000? You'd be pissed if you jumped in before it went up and it didn't." Yeah, well, I mean, to me, yeah, they don't really have an option, right? They better raise the price. Although, they did say that with the V13 as well. But I mean, they've made this very public, their plans here. So if they don't do it, I think they're going to look kind of bad. Murray says, "Dang, I have to go out. We'll catch up later or watch a video later. Good to see you." Okay, no problem, Murray. Thank you for stopping in, buddy. The fast charger price is reasonable. 14 amp, 235 watt charger. That's a 3.2 kilowatt charger. A lot more power than a Roger Huning or PidZoom charger. Okay. I don't know. Well, again, this is a use case thing. I never have a need to fast charge at 14 amps. I don't need to do that. I mean, if I ride a wheel, I ride it and then I charge it overnight or whatever, and I ride it again next time. I mean, the only time you need a wheel to charge that fast is if you're in a case where you need more range, right? Um, I don't know. Again, like acceleration, like top speed, the need to charge that fast, it's a subjective need. Some people need it, some people don't. Maybe a lot of P6 buyers would that would appeal to, because heck, they're paying $5,000 for a wheel. So I guess why wouldn't they not want a 14 amp fast charger? A V12S buyer probably doesn't care. Dale's getting the new motor. Okay, awesome. Scamster says, unlike wrong way, luckily here in AU, the first batch of V12S came with a 9.6 amp charger. Nice, sweet. Mamacita says to Buggy Danny, the P6 has only dropped. There'll be fast chargers for it pretty soon. Let's not forget the BG 252 volt about to drop. Yeah, that's one of that's one of my talking points as well. Of course, Begode always has to try to one up whatever comes out by Kingsong or In Motion. However, what happened with the race may have soured people somewhat, and the Panther somewhat. May have soured people somewhat on the new Begode wheel, even though they did announce a new partnership with, what's it called, E-Ride Life or something like that. Let's see if I can find that announcement, which I don't know what E-Ride Life is. Yeah. Okay, I found the announcement. Does anyone know what E-Ride Life is? I've never heard of it. E-Ride, because they're going to be doing service for Pagode. E-Ride Life. Okay. This looks like a, I don't know. This almost looks like an AI generated site. This is E-Ride Life, guys. These are the people that are going to be helping Pagode do service. Okay. Oh, is that oh, that's what's his face? Mr. Amped Games. Okay, so they're going to do service for Pagode. They're based in Denver. Okay. Interesting. And it looks like they do they only sell Pagode wheels or Extreme Bowl? No. Okay, two interesting. The two low end InMotion wheels I saw. Okay, that's E-Ride Life. They're going to be they're going to be starting today. And this was on November 1st. E-Ride Life will become Pagode's official authorized after sales service provider for the US. Fully undertaking after sales service. So this is just, I guess this is just for people that buy their wheels from Pagode.com they're talking about, which is nice. Because that was like one of the unknowns to me, is like people that are buying from Pagode.com, what do they do if they have a problem? So it is that's good that they have a US based company to deal with. Hopefully they're able to handle it. Interesting. How did I get in this on this tangent? Oh, because of the 252 volt wheel. Yeah, we'll talk about that some more later. Let me pick that out. Okay. Mamacita. Oh, your name isn't 8? You deleted that comment and sent accidentally. Oh, okay. All right, Mamacita. Gotcha. Scamster, my PidZoom charger here with Australian power can charge up to 14 amps. Mine can charge up to 14 amps. I have the HW170 PidZoom charger. I think it goes to 14 as well, I believe. Not that I need to, but I do have that. Seth, yes. Seth Spartacus, yes. E-Ride Life is Seth. Okay. I didn't know that was the name of his company, though. Didn't know that. Dale says, Pagode's in trouble. I've heard from a pretty reliable source they are months behind on wages and haven't paid their suppliers. Really? They have been trying to get the dealers they fucked over to help them. Really? So you think that's what drove them to try to sell direct, Dale? Because they looked at that as a way to increase their profit margin? Well, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised that their sales strategy has not caused issues. Rolling out wheels every other week, new wheel that makes the prior wheel obsolete, probably creates a lot of excess inventory, probably creates a part supply nightmare, a servicing problem for dealers. So yeah, it's probably kind of their own making. But no, I had not heard, Dale, that they legit have financial issues, but I would not be surprised. Sterling E-Ride Life is Seth Johnson's company. Yeah, learn something new. Everyone filling it in. Yes, Seth. Yes. Dale says, I hope they don't burn Seth like they burnt nearly every other dealer. Yeah, it's interesting that they would go to Seth because, I mean, E-Ride Life, have they been around and selling wheels for a long time? I mean, you would think that, e-wheels, the predominant dealer for many, many years in the United States, e-wheels would be, a good candidate for that, but I guess not. Well, no, I guess that doesn't make sense because they screwed over e-wheels as well by going direct. So yeah. Well, I mean, you sooner or later you run out of people to screw over, right? And then you have a big problem. Spartacus promoting hitting the like button on the stream. Yes. And vote on the poll. Let's see. Oh, let's see who our top fans are right now. That is a new thing that YouTube is doing. When you're in the chat, you have top fans. What? The top fan is T Cabio. Why is that? T Cabio? Did he do a super chat or something? T Cabio didn't even comment, did he? Or at least I already didn't get to it yet. I don't know why T Cabio is the number one fan, followed by Scamster and then Spartacus. I'm very confused by what top fans means in YouTube and what it actually is based on. I don't understand. Mamacita, what's your biggest concern and hype for EUCs in 2026? Oh, geez. I might have to get another Alcolo before I answer that question. Let me see. Or maybe I just need to start riding my EUCs more. I have my 7. I think I have 7 EUCs. Actually, I have 6 of them. 6 EUCs lined up in the garage, and I have my E20 sitting here by my 3D printers. That's a good idea. Let me go get an Alcolo. I think it's only going to be a 2 Alcolo night, so let me get my second Alcolo here, which will give me time to ponder on your question, Mamacita. So let me go to easier things until then. Medium Dog's here, channel member. Medium Dog, what's up, buddy? Spartacus echoing what I said. Not surprised with the rate they pumped out wheels. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of forethought or strategy in Begaud's production of wheels. I think they just wanna like be on the top performance wise, and if someone infringes on that, then they try to beat it again, even if it makes the wheel that was just announced a month ago obsolete, because that's happened countless times ever since going back to the Gotway days. Spartacus, Begaud killed Begaud. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, if they trash their relationships with dealers, but I mean, maybe they're just desperate. Maybe they're desperate for money, and when you're desperate, you do desperate things. And Begaud.com might have been a reflection of them being desperate. And they also they canceled the Malaysia games, right? Isn't that true? Which again could have been financially related. All right, I'll be right back. I mean, would I be sad if Begaud left the EUC market or went bankrupt or whatever? No. Just being honest. Not really. Okay. All right. So let's get back to Mamacita's questions. My biggest concern and hype for EUCs. My biggest concern, and this actually is one of my talking points, is for years and years, I was talking about the dangers of people riding in certain ways on PEVs and getting the negative attention of the public, of legislators, of local governments, and even in Florida, where it's been pretty lax, it's starting to be an issue. And that issue is legislation and laws. In Florida, there's legislation about that. Now, it's referring to e-bikes, but I guarantee you it will be extended to EUCs, where if the bike goes over, if the device goes over 28 miles an hour, It would require registration and insurance, even though there's no one that registers or insures such devices right now. You would not be allowed to ride on sidewalks or bike lanes in that situation. And unfortunately, I think it's coming. I think the legislative hammer is going to drop sooner rather than later, and that could be a real problem. I know there's a guy that rides locally here in the Naples area, and he actually reached out to me a month or two ago, saying that he got pulled over riding on one of the main thoroughfares in the bike lane. The police officer clocked him doing in the 30s, something like that. So it was above the 28 miles an hour. And she gave him a warning, but said that if he gets caught again, it's going to be a fine, and then they're going to take the vehicle. They're going to take it from him. So he was all freaked out, and he was concerned about even riding at all. He was at the point where he might just give it up because he didn't want to get arrested or get fined and then lose the wheel and all kind of stuff like that. And I think that kind of stuff is coming. It's coming. So that is my biggest concern, that all of a sudden this hobby is going to have to go underground, and every time you go out riding, you're rolling the dice if you're going to get stopped. And which could translate into big fines. It could translate into you losing your wheel. And guess what? There's no quicker way to kill the hobby than that, for sure. So even though a lot of the legislation is targeted towards e-bikes, I guarantee they will lump EUCs into that as well. So if a cop sees someone zipping down the road at 50 miles an hour on an EUC, the lights are going to come on. And that's going to be a problem. My biggest hype for EUCs. Let's see. I mean, where can we go from here? I mean, you got wheels that go ridiculously fast, stupid fast, crazy performance numbers. I don't know what else. I mean, what else does a wheel need? The suspension has improved greatly. I mean, I like some of the additional convenience features that have been added to wheels lately, like the Ride Connect feature on InMotion wheels. Kingsong has the Find My capability, which integrates with Apple Find My. So if your wheel was stolen, it will be able to be found, which I think that's nice. Again, that's not a scenario that I'm worried about. I mean, what else does a wheel need? They play music, and they have huge batteries. I don't, to be quite honest, I don't know what else a wheel would offer me that I don't already have in 2025. So that's just my honest answer. If you have ideas of what you would want, feel free to throw it out there. Project Anakin, looking forward to watching the Florida P6 demo. Hope you guys cover it well. It's great to become familiar with riders from each city. Yeah, Rob Lee, the owner of PEV Connection, or one of the owners of PEV Connection in St. Petersburg, he reached out to me. I guess they're doing a P6 demo sometime in November, and he reached out to see if I was, interested in checking it out. I don't think I will. Not really looking to drive a couple hours to ride a P6. Again, it doesn't check the boxes for me. I appreciate what the wheel is and what it can do, but it doesn't, as a consumer, it doesn't really do anything for me. So I don't think that I will be going to the P6 demo. But there's a lot of people that are all into it, so I'm sure it'll be well attended. The P6, since my last live stream, I'm trying to think because I know AVS and Apple Valley. Oh wait, no, AVS and Apple Valley is the same thing. AVS and TEF1 races, the P6 team took the top 5 spots in both races. So it seems pretty clear that the P6 is a dominant wheel right now. It's dominant. And the Begode race, which was supposed to be, the Begode answer to the racing environment, has not been good. They had an issue with it cutting out in the one race. It has overheating issues, I understand, some quality control issues. And the race seems to be one of those situations where if it's too good to be true, or if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Because remember, Bagode did that special on Bagode.com that the only way you could get a race was direct from Bagode, and it was like, what was it, $2,400 or something like that, $2,500, stupid cheap. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, what a deal!" Well, I don't know. Is it a deal if the wheel isn't that great? Because it seems like it's not that great. So yeah, the race is it's funny. Like Bagode has a lot of hits and misses, and to me, the race is pretty much a miss. Seems that way to me. I mean, can you imagine if someone took the time to make a list of every wheel that Bagode / Gotway has released since their inception? It would be crazy. God, what would it be? Would it be 100 wheels? I don't know, 100 models? I mean, it's crazy the amount of wheels that they have released. And it's just, I don't understand it. I've never understood it, and I continue to not understand it. And now you have the Bagode. What's the new one called? The 250 volt wheel, 252, whatever it is. Is it the Max or Max 2? Bagode Max. Let me see if I can find that on Facebook. I think it's Bagode Max. It makes so many wheels are running out of names. Bagode X Max. X Max. So you had the X Way, now we have the X Max. It's kind of crazy. X Max. Okay, I know, and the X Max looks like all their other wheels lately. Okay, let's bring this to the stage. Yes, this is a rendering of the X Max, which looks like I don't know. It looks like a Panther. It looks like a race. It looks like a lot of Bagode wheels nowadays. Yeah, I mean, I just shoulder shrug. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm just the Bagode wheels all look similar. And that, I mean, that does, I mean, I don't know how accurate that rendering is, but that doesn't look good either, right? Just, I don't know. Maybe they will go out of business, and that's okay. Cameron, you ordered the P6 too? Okay, I won't tell anybody, Cameron, but holy shit, dude. Did you take out a loan? Did you sell something? Did you offer up your firstborn? I mean, how are you paying for your P6? Don't tell anybody, but I did not order one. Randy, what's your last name? Randy, welcome to the live stream, Randy. No, I've not heard anything from Dawn lately. I know that Dawn had her shoulder surgery, and it seems like it went well, and I wish her well in her healing journey. That's what I've heard. Mamacita, thanks for your response. Yeah, it's crazy what's happening everywhere in regard to PEVs. Unless you're in Asia, I think most continents want to heavily restrict or ban them altogether. Sad times. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's where the momentum is. And imagine you're Cameron Massey, and you just paid $5,000 or $5,500 after taxes for your P6, and local law enforcement decides that they are going to start cracking down on high-speed PEVs. That would suck, right? That would suck. Hope it doesn't happen, but I think it might. It's unfortunate because I mean, PEVs are such a efficient way to get around. It really is, and it's too bad. And in my area, e-bikes are everywhere. There's lots of people going on e-bikes, tons of them, and and they are fast e-bikes. Like I'm cruising down Tamiami Trail at 45 miles an hour, and I'm just inching past an e-bike that's next to me in the bike lane. So and sometimes these people ride on the sidewalk, going nearly as fast, and they also will ride against traffic on e-bikes, and that's crazy. Like I was pulling out for work the other day, and I'm making a right hand turn onto it's a 3-lane road, all the traffic going one direction, looking for my brake, and I get my brake and I'm about ready to go. Here comes an e-bike up the bike lane, the wrong direction against traffic. I have to jam on the brakes to avoid him. And it's just people, and you hear about people getting into accidents with cars a lot. And a lot of times it's people just not using common sense. They're not following traffic rules. They're I don't know. It's frustrating. So um unfortunately, I think more regulation is coming, and that is going to be bad for everybody. Everybody. I know New York supposedly is cracking down on it more. For the longest time, the New York guys have said that, yeah, well, they're illegal, but there's no enforcement. Well, it sounds like they want to enforce it now. So I don't know. But once that happens, yeah, the fun's over. Spartacus, that would make a good video. How many wheels does Bigode got what he made? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure where I would get all the information. Let's get the complete list. I mean, I can't work off of memory because it's far too many wheels to work off of memory. But maybe Spartacus. I don't know. See if I can figure out a way to do that. I could just ask AI, right? Just ask AI like everything else. Has anyone seen the AI videos that I made on Sora, the ChatGPT app, where you can basically import yourself into the app, and it makes incredibly realistic videos. Well, depending on the scenario that you describe, but it brings you into these videos in a very realistic way. Mimics your voice. It's crazy. I've made a bunch of Sora videos so far, and I've been using AI sort of for a new app that I got for recording my pickleball games called Swing Vision, that utilizes AI to keep score, to analyze the footage, to call balls in or out real time. Basically, there's an app on my phone which is mounted high up on the behind the court to get the entire court into the field of view. And like while I'm playing, it also integrates with my Apple Watch. And let's say there's a call where like there's a dispute if the ball is in or out, I can actually go to my Apple Watch and say last shot, and it will say what the app saw, and it will call the ball in or out, which is kind of cool. So yeah, what's the point of that? I don't know. AI is everywhere, and it's going to be a lot more places pretty soon. AI is going to do everything, more or less. Buggy Danny, it seems whenever Bigode ups the voltage, they have issues, and it takes a few revisions to get to work. The race was their first 210-volt wheel. Well, yeah, it was, it was their first and probably their last, right? Because that's the way Bigode works. It's like, okay, well, we need to leapfrog whatever is the leader. Quality control be damned, testing be damned. We need to leapfrog whatever the current leader is and get in front of it, and that's what they're doing. So I would predict that there will not be any other 210-volt wheels after the race. That is my prediction, which is crazy, right? Project Anakin, it's the absolute worst time to invest in Bigode. Every one of their flagship wheels has been superseded. I'd say the Extreme and Master Pro are the last survivors. Otherwise, there's better options. Yeah, I mean, look at the Panther. I mean, the Panther had all this praise, and people thought it was so great, and once they started getting in the hands of people, they're like, well, I paid, they paid $5,000 for that wheel too, right? Wasn't it $5,000 initially, or 4,500? I don't know. It was expensive, and they got the wheel, and they're like, oh, this thing is really kind of cheap. cheap materials, cheap build quality, not worth the money. So yeah, Bago's got a big problem on their hands, I would say. So you say the Extreme and Master Pro are flagship wheels still? Well, I mean the Extreme had a longer lifespan than most Pagode wheels, and the Master Pro, it went through what, 3 iterations? Wasn't there a V3 Master Pro? So yeah, that lasted a while. Am I wrong? That's a subjective question, Anakin. That's gonna depend on who's answering the question. Cameron sold some Apple stock. That's how you paid for the wheel. Okay, that's fine. You'll probably get more enjoyment out of the wheel than Apple stock, I would guess. Mamacita says to Project Anakin, I think most companies are having their issues. I went with an OG wheel, still suspension, but I wanted reliability over the latest head cases. Yeah. I mean, InMotion wheels are the most professionally made wheels out there. And it seems like InMotion it reminds me like a consumer electronics company, almost like a Sony or something like that, or a Samsung, right? I mean, they are another level when it comes to their wheels, as far as their build quality, the tech that's in them, the advertising dollars they spend on them. Can you imagine what their advertising budget is? I mean, they are everywhere in social media. I see InMotion ads. I see Aaron Doria in his V9 InMotion ad every day. Every day, InMotion. I would love to know what their social media budget is, because it has to be huge, because they are everywhere. Every time I load up Facebook, I'm seeing InMotion ads all the time. So, and King Song, I don't know. I mean, to me, InMotion and Veteran are my 2 favorite EUC manufacturers. But InMotion is the most professional for sure. For sure. Okay, I am caught up on chat. That's a good thing. Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. So in the process of talking about things that came up in chat, I've crossed off a number of my talking points. I don't know why I wrote this down. So if you look at the description of the video, InMotion changed their affiliate program for some reason. And now they gave me a whole new set of links. Like if you look at the description of this video, you'll see that they sent me a link for every wheel that they basically sell, from top end P6 all the way down to a E20. I have links. So if you want to support the channel, feel free to click on those links. I don't think I've had anyone do it on the new affiliate program yet, so I'm not even sure if it works. But if you want to check that out, go ahead. I would appreciate that. Let's see, Swing Vision. I talked about that. Oh man, I almost talked about everything here. Hold on. Oh wow. Okay, this is another name I've not seen on the live stream before. John. Let's see if I butchered this name. John Sarapata. John Sarapata. Since you mentioned Kingsong, what are your thoughts about the F18? Kingsong is weird. Ever since the S22, they've been kind of just fumbling around. You know, they had the S16, they had the S19. Then they had the F-22, which I bought, which really kind of pissed me off because the F-18 came out with some features that I wish the F-22 had. The F-22 was an okay wheel, but my biggest issue was the dihedral angle, which was not adjustable, was extremely steep and caused me severe discomfort if I rode any kind of duration on it. Like after 10 miles, I was ready to get off the damn thing. And I paid a lot of money for it. So F-22 Pro, F-18. King Song has been blitzing social media with videos about all the amazing things F-18s can do, right? As far as I know, can you buy an F-18? Who's selling them? Are they readily available yet? Like what King Song does is they advertise wheels far in advance of them being available, and I think that's a bad idea. And it kind of pisses people off because you see them posting all these videos on social media about, yeah, look at the F-18, look at these climbs it's doing, look how rugged it is. But then when you go to try to find it, or you try to find videos of people that actually own one, you can't, right? You can't. All right, so here we are on e-wheels. Let's see. Okay, there's that good old F-22 Pro. Oh yeah, the Oryx is $5,000, so it's the same price as a P6. Oof. He's still selling the Panther for $5,000. Remember, Begode.com, you could get a Panther for like less than $3,000. Interesting. Begode Blitz, that's another wheel that they kind of superseded with a race. Okay, I'm looking for an F-18. Not seeing it. Suspension wheels. No. All right. Okay, so eWheels, one of the biggest dealers in the United States, does not have an F-18 on their site. Let's go to Alien Rides. F-22 Pro. I bet they haven't sold a lot of those either. All right, let's look at all their electric unicycles. V12S, nice wheel. V9, nice wheel. F-22 Pro. Okay, looking. I think last live stream, okay, so Alien Rides nor eWheels shows that wheel on their site. I think Next Gen did, but it was like a pre-order deal. Like it wasn't, you couldn't actually get one yet. It wasn't in stock. Let me see. Links. Oh, okay. So oh wow, look at that. Okay, Next Gen has the F-18 in stock supposedly. $3,200. They've dropped the price a little bit. Interesting. Okay. So that's the first site that has it. But when the F-18 was first announced, my criticism, it seems like it's good, right? It seems like it's good. It has, does great climbing, and it does some great things. Has an adjustable dihedral angle now. But it's basically the King Song version of a Lynx, right? And the Lynx came out 2 years ago, between 2 and 3 years ago. King Song has offered their Lynx competitor 2 to 3 years after the Lynx came out. Okay, great. I would say that like King Song is like the opposite of Begode. Like Begode can come out with a new wheel, like do research, R&D, engineering, marketing, and delivery in weeks. King Song seems to take years to do stuff like this. But I mean, look, it has the same specs as a Lynx: 2,700 watt hour battery, 151 volt subsystem. I mean, it's just kind of a shoulder shrug. Yeah, it's nice. And I saw there's one guy I saw on social media. I don't remember who it is. Is it Will Alteri that has it? I'm not quite sure. Hold on. Hold on a second. Yeah, so there's a couple people, literally a couple people that have the F-18, but I don't know. It just seems like it's too late. It's too late to the market. Like people just don't really care about the F-18. So I don't, did I answer your question? I don't know. I don't. Ever since the S20/S22, King Song just seems to be fumbling the ball quite a bit. Not saying the F-18 is a bad wheel. I just think it's a wheel that is past its time, and they miss the time frame. CZ is pronounced S. So talking about that guy's name. Okay, gotcha. Mamacita, I think if King Song only sold EUCs, they would have gone bust last year. Yeah, probably. But I mean, they sell scooters, right? I'm pretty sure they sell a lot more scooters than they do EUCs. Oh, Dale's having a Siggy break. Nice, man. Nice, nice. So your buddy in Perth just got his F-18. Yeah, does he like it? Stan, with InMotion's huge budget, how far ahead is the P6 in your opinion to the competitors? Do InMotion's competitors have the R&D budget to close the gap? I mean, to me, the R&D, engineering, manufacturing of InMotion wheels is next level compared to anybody else in the space. That is my feeling. Can other people close it? I don't know. I don't know. InMotion has such a supposedly or apparently has such a large marketing budget that they have the potential to drown out other competitors in the space. Now, if the P6 did not live up to the performance numbers that were promised, that would be another thing. But it seems like it does, right? It has some great specs. It's a monster wheel. It really is, and they're betting that they can sell a monster wheel for monster price. So time will tell. Time will tell. Hold on. I know texting and streaming is bad, but I have a girlfriend and stuff, so um Dale says the F-18 looks like a pretty decent wheel. Yeah, I think it does too. But again, it's a Lynx competitor. The market, the industry has moved past Lynx specs. So I don't get it. Buggy Danny basically echoing what I said. The F-18 looks like a slightly better Lynx that is coming out 2 years after the Lynx. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's great, but it is not gonna generate that much excitement. I said this before in a prior live stream. Everyone that wanted a Lynx and was excited about a Lynx by this point in time bought a Lynx. They already have it. So, and it's not like an F-18 is drastically better than a Lynx. So who's gonna buy it? If Bago doesn't close the performance gap with the P6, is Bago doomed since performance is the grab bag? Well, I don't know if you were here earlier, Stan, but Dale mentioned that he thinks that Bago is having some serious financial issues, and other people have echoed that as well. I don't know. I mean, that their whole effort to make their own direct-to-consumer website, Bago.com, which undercut dealers dramatically in some situations, which pissed off a bunch of dealers, including NextGen. It was like a move that signaled desperation, and that might be the case. I don't know. They could be hurting. They could be. And I'm not going to stay up, but I'm not going to lose any sleep at night if it goes out of business. to be quite honest with you, because I'm fine with the other manufacturers picking up the slack. Dale says first batch links arrived. No. Really, Dale? So it's only been a year and a half for the links. I don't. Okay. I mean, I believe you. It seems like it's been much longer. But regardless, it's still too late to the game, in my opinion. Stan says Kingsong hasn't rebounded since the S20 went into flames. Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, not only did it go into flames, but then when they finally got the S22 out, which they made people wait for over a year beyond the original release date, the S22 came out with that shit suspension system, which is basically two metal rods just sliding inside of a channel and getting all dirty and being terrible. Blown system boards, the loose stators in the motors. Remember that? They had a ton of problems with the S22. That being said, if you got one that everything worked, it was a fun wheel, and some people really liked them. But yeah, that wheel really hurt them. It really hurt them. And the wheels that they've released since then, I mean, they haven't had the same kind of quality control issues. Even though I did hear from Jason, I remember he told me one time that the S6, S16, S19, I guess, had issues as well. But and the S22 Pro, nice wheel, but not. Although they did release a firmware update for the S22 Pro, which is supposed to allow it to go more than 45 miles an hour, because it had impressive specs, but then didn't go much faster than prior generation wheels. But that wheel seems to be another sales failure, and unfortunately, I think the F18 is going to be a sales failure as well. That's my feeling. Hold on. Yeah. Kingsong. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Kingsong's hurting financially like Begode is, because Begode doesn't really do anything else other than EUCs. They have not diversified, even though they did try to sell those K6s for a while, which I don't think they do that anymore either. Stan says, if I was Kingsong, I would remake their legendary wheels. Well, didn't they do that? Like, didn't they release gold versions of they did gold versions of the S22, of the Kingsong 16X, of the Kingsong 18XL, I believe. So they did kind of do that, Stan. I owned a 16X and I owned a Kingsong 18XL, and they were both great wheels. I really liked them. Cameron says, it kind of blows my mind that Emotion came out on top as performance brand to beat. Yeah. Well, I think that probably there's some sort of shift there in Emotion. I don't know if it coincided with Albert getting more involved with the company. Albert having a better understanding of the U.S. market potentially. And the high performance riders that are in the U.S. market. So maybe he had some influence over the direction of InMotion. But it is weird. Like, I remember, like, Marty repeatedly for many years would sort of look down on InMotion and think of them as like a toy wheel and like not a macho wheel. I think I literally remember him saying this. It wasn't a macho wheel. Like, anyone that was a man that had a Begode or a Gotway wheel, InMotion was a joke. The V10F was not a serious wheel. But yeah, it has flipped. It has flipped, Cameron. And now Now Pagode is chasing P6, and even if Pagode releases a wheel that can approach the performance numbers, Pagode is never going to release a wheel that's going to approach InMotion as far as quality control, build quality. Never. Pagode will never release a wheel that's in the same league as InMotion when it comes to those things, at least in my opinion. Scamster says Kingsong scooters before EUCs. I rode scooters, big ones, had a Kingsong N11. Absolute rubbish, really. Okay. I've never owned a Kingsong scooter. I've ridden Segway / 9bot scooters, but why am I blanking? Why am I blanking on the high performance? Oh, the Dualtron. I owned a Dualtron scooter too when I was with Cindy. But yeah, I don't really know much about the scooter market. Scamster. So Scamster got his second batch links in May of 2024. Okay. So then that would be coming up on a year and a half. But Dale said his batch 1 was February. Okay. Yeah, that makes timeline makes sense, I guess. Project Anakin, we are waiting for Trub KS has their foot on his neck, making him wait to release footage, last I heard. From what he says, the suspension is worth a purchase over other models in its class. On the F-18? F-18, it's hold on. Hold on again. This should be it, though, I think. Honestly, this should be it. The suspension, another thing with the F-22 Pro, like remember when they released the F-22, man, this rash, man, it's like shit. The F-22 Pro is, they had the suspension on all 4 corners, right? The outside corners is supposed to help rigidity. They pitched that as a big deal. It was supposed to originally be like a Fast A style hydraulic suspension, and then when it was released, it was actually an air suspension. With the F-18, it's still a 4-shock system, 2 shocks on either side, but they are closer to the center of the wheel instead of going to the corners. So yeah, I have heard positive things about the suspension on the F-18 as well. But again, it's I don't know that it's going to have the appeal that they hope. I don't think people are looking for links for better Lynxes right now. Hold on. But anyways, yeah. So what was next gen selling it for? $3,200. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't spend it, but I don't know. I think a better Lynx just is not going to sell well at this point. And that doesn't mean that the wheel's a bad wheel. I just think it was too slow to market. Mamacita says, I think NOSFET will surprise us in 2026 with a wheel we never saw coming, something that'll compete with the P6. Really? Okay. Maybe. I mean, if NOSFET's going to do that, that kind of means that Leaper Kim's going to be involved, though, right? Dale says the P6 is constructed like a Lynx Sherman L. I'm keen to see how the new Lynx compares to the P6. So the new Lynx is confirmed, Dale? I did not hear that was confirmed. Okay. But I mean, the Lynx is, I mean, the Lynx is seen as a strong off-road wheel as well, whereas the P6 is not a primary. I mean, you can take a P6 off-road, but it is not a off-road wheel. So what are you saying? The new Lynx is going to be more of a performance wheel, like a road performance wheel? Sterling says the S16 and S19 have hella battery and BMS issues. The BMSs will literally self-drain the battery cells to zero if they're not charged every couple of months. Oh, really? Well, I mean, there's been a number of wheels that have had issues with phantom drain, but yeah, allowing the battery cells to go to zero, that's that's a bad thing. Wow. Should Albert receive a Nobel Prize? Asks Stan. I don't know. Should he? I think incorporating him into InMotion has been a good move by them for sure. Anakin says we have basically hit a speed ceiling. Now we are at a stage where quality is key, battery tech, efficiency, and high quality materials. Wheels are only going to go up in price now. Well, yeah, I would agree so, or I would agree as well. You know, the P6 is they advertise it as a, was it a 93? I still have the tab open. 93 mile an hour wheel, which I mean, is that realistic? I mean, the wind pressure at 93 miles an hour on an electric unicycle seems like that would be next to impossible to overcome. Not to mention ridiculously dangerous. So yeah, do we need to go any faster than a P6? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think battery tech probably is the biggest thing. Like if we can get lighter batteries with similar performance numbers, similar range, similar output, that would be a game changer. You know, if you could get a wheel with 4,000 watt hours of capacity that weighs 25 pounds less than current wheels that have that kind of battery capacity, that would be a great thing. I think the NOSFED Aero proved that there is a market for lighter wheels, smaller, lighter wheels. You know, most people don't need to go 75 miles on a wheel. You know, most people do not. So, yeah, the Aero made it clear that there is a market for smaller, lighter wheels. Now, if you get a smaller, lighter wheel, and you still could potentially get great range, great power, even though the Aero does have good power, that would be great. So, I think battery technology is probably the biggest thing that could really affect wheels over the upcoming years, because they are the biggest source of weight in a wheel. Sterling, Marty also thought its suspension was a gimmick for a decent amount of time after the S18 and V11 were announced. Yeah, I do remember. It's funny because I mentioned in the last live stream how I've been going back and listening to old live streams, and I still have been doing that. Right now, I'm back in the 2000 time frame when the V11 and S18 were announced. And the most recent old live stream that I listened to was actually a live stream that Marty did with me. He came on, and he had the V11, the demo V11 back then, and he actually had flipped his opinion. Like he actually agreed that suspension was the future at that point after riding the V11. And he was then convinced that that's what he wanted. But yeah, I do remember initially, Sterling, that he was skeptical about the benefits of suspension. Ironically, Marty also said that before the P6 was announced, I swear to God, it was like a month before the P6 was announced. He said that InMotion has no plans to do a performance wheel anytime soon. So yeah, we can go back in the live stream and we can pull that out. So the moral of the story is don't necessarily take everything Marty says as gospel, because he definitely gets some things wrong once in a while. Anakin says, as far as 14-inch wheels and up, but generally all sizes must compete in these areas. And what? Range, power? Yeah. They got to compete in price as well. You know, it'd be great if, again, not only would battery technology improve, but battery pricing would go down, so the price of wheels could actually go down. I would love for EUCs to follow a similar path to TVs. Big screen TVs are like one of the few things in the world that you get more for less. It seems like almost any other tech nowadays, it just goes up and up and up in price. Big screen TVs, you get bigger TVs for less money, significantly less money. Like I saw, you get was an 85-inch or 100-inch TV for like less than $2,000 nowadays. It's crazy, the prices of TV. So I'm hoping that with time that would happen with EUCs as well. That'd be great. I don't know that it will, but it would be great if it did follow that same path. Scamster says, all I want in a wheel going further really is for the battery tech to get good enough so a V12S type wheel could do 100 kilometers with the same weight. Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. And I think that will happen. I think it'll definitely happen. Just a matter of when. Yeah, the V12S, for me, the V12S is a near perfect size wheel. It's big enough that it feels substantial when you're riding at speed, but the 16-inch form factor still makes it agile. Has a lot of tech built into it. I'm a big fan of the V12S, even though I haven't been riding wheels in general much lately, but big fan. Cameron says if Pagoda's having trouble, I'm sure that's good news for Libra Kim and Nosfet. Curious to see their reaction to the P6. I mean, I wish I knew how many P6s that they've actually sold, because to me, that price for most people is going to be a really big barrier to entry. So I am curious how many P6s they sold. It's funny, again, listening back to old live streams. Do you know that originally Marty was skeptical about the veteran Sherman? He was skeptical about it, like he didn't know if it would be that great. And that was before he got his. Like he didn't think it would be that great. He didn't like the way it looked before he got it, and then of course he fell in love with it. But another live stream I listened to recently was the live stream I did with Ulf. You guys might know Ulf from Germany. Ulf, who was a King Song rep. Ulf, who was a moderator on the Electric Unicycle forums. I did a live stream with him back in 2020. And he was convinced, because the Sherman, when it came out, was around $3,000, the original veteran Sherman, I believe. And Ulf was convinced that the Sherman was like a niche wheel, or niche wheel, niche, that would not sell that many units because it was $3,000. And it, lo and behold, they sold a ton of Shermans, a ton. People love the wheel. It was very expensive at its time, but people love the wheel. So I'm curious if the P6 is going to be along those lines. Even though it's $5,000, people are going to want it so bad, based on all of the hype that's been going on, that they're going to do what it takes to get their P6, just like Cameron selling his Apple stock, you know. So I don't know. I would love to know if all of this hype, all of this advertising, all of these endorsements from various people on social media, if they have resulted in very significant sales of the P6. I would love to know that. I don't really have a way to find that out though. Stuart Ross, channel member Stuart Ross. Do we really need wheels that do 60 plus? I think it's going to add to more accidents and therefore more of a spotlight and the dangers. It only takes a few reckless riders to mess it up for all. The short answer to that, Stuart, is no, we do not need that. And I don't think you were here earlier, but I did talk about the increasing appearance of legislation going on to restrict personal electric vehicles. Now, a lot of the verbiage has to do with e-bikes, but I am positive that those same restrictions are going to lump electric unicycles into that as well. In Florida, actually, there is legislation that could drop the hammer on personal electric vehicles. No more than 28 miles an hour. If you go faster than that, you have requirements for registration and insurance. And the gotcha is you can't get registration or insurance on such a vehicle, at least currently. So, no, a wheel does not need to go that fast, in my opinion, Stuart. But to some people, it does. Like there's no limit. They have a need for speed. I do not. Dale says, I already have 2 wheels faster than I am. I'm looking for quality and strength, durability, and range. Well, I mean, veteran is known for that, right? I mean, at this point in my life, I'm more impressed by quality as well. Quality impresses me more than raw performance. Blue Collar Jose, another channel member. I've been asked this before, Jose. Would I recommend the V12S over the Aero? They're different wheels. They're different class wheels. The V12S is significantly heavier. The V12S doesn't cost a ton more than the Aero. It's a couple $100 more than the Aero, I guess. V12S has a lot more features than an Aero. Has a beautiful screen, the best screen in the EUC industry, as far as I'm concerned. Has the ambient lights. It has the Bluetooth speaker. It has USB-A and USB-C charging. It has the Ride Connect feature. Has a lot more features than an Aero. That being said, an Aero is light. It's portable because it's only 50 pounds, a little more than 50 pounds. Looks great visually. I think the Aero is really, really cool. One of the best looking wheels out there. Has great power. Has a better power plant, 126 volt power system, whereas the V12S is an 84 volt wheel. It's a matter of what is important to you. If you want a wheel that's more portable, V12S is, or I'm sorry, an Aero is easier to throw around. If you're more impressed by visuals, I would say that the Aero is probably a better looking wheel than V12S. But the V12S has a bigger battery. If you're just like a cruiser, like you're looking for like a suburban cruiser, I would say that the V12S is probably a better wheel. And I'm wondering if Emotion is going to do like a holiday sale where it drops the price of it. Like if you can get a V12S for $2,000 or less, I think that's a really, really good deal. So the short answer is I don't really think that they're wheels in the same class, really. I think they're both good wheels for different reasons. Dale says, in Australia, the amount of e-bike deaths have gone up and they're cracking down on them. Same could happen for UCs. Yeah, well, that's what's happening here, Dale, as well, is there's more and more reports of accidents with people on e-bikes. And the reason is because e-bikes are going faster, a combination of e-bikes going faster, and the people that are riding them not really being very cautious or following traffic laws or doing following traffic safety standards. There's been all kinds, and I see that on a regular basis. So, and unfortunately, the more that happens, the more we're going to see a push for legislation to limit them. Unfortunately, it's coming. It's coming. I don't really know how you reverse that at this point. And it's like I said, it's too bad because, I mean, PEVs have so many great things, I mean, about them that they, Just think of the impact a PEV has versus an automobile. Its footprint is so small, so flexible, can get you all over the place with much less impact than an automobile and cost. Blue Collar Jose, taking advantage of one of the advantages of being a member is you get free super chat looking posts like this. Sherman L being under 4K and being proven versus P6. Oh, what do you mean? Like the value of it? Like a this or that? Let's see. Would I rather have a Sherman for $4,000 or a P6 for $5,000? I mean, for me personally, I would rather have a Sherman, probably the Sherman L, for me, because I have no need for the top speed or insane acceleration of a P6. I'd rather have the $1,000 in my pocket. But I mean, it's such a subjective question, Jose. It really is. It's just a matter of what checks your boxes, what excites you about a wheel. The P6 obviously is exciting a lot of people for sure, but it's you're going to pay for that excitement big time. Anakin says, I'm guessing some politicians down the line had their hand in producing the P6 to introduce laws, registration, etc. I wonder if the P6 is UL certified like the V9 and the V12S. I don't know that I've heard that. The most recent two InMotion wheels were UL certified. I don't know that the P6 is. Hold on. I'll be back in 90 seconds. Okay, just look at my pretty lights. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, was that 90 seconds? Tried to pee fast. Yeah, I think I answered that question. Dale says, InMotion fixing the price for the P62 next gen aren't allowed to sell it's cheaper or offer any extras. Yeah, well, I assume so. If you agreed to sell the P6, you probably have to follow their rules. Oh, Jose's talking about the Sherman L versus the P6 value wise. Well, again, it's a matter of what's important to you. If range is important to you, it sounds like the Sherman L is going to get significantly more range than the P6. If what I heard about Cobra's getting 40 some miles of range on a range test on a P6 is true. If range is important to you, the Sherman L is going to get you more range and it's going to save you $1,000. I mean, I love the Sherman L. It's a great wheel. If I rode more, I would probably have one, but I don't. Dale says, Duff is awesome. Subscribe to my channel. Oh, Dale. Oh, so Dale, you took advantage of the super chat as well. Good, man. You should. Every member should take advantage of their member benefits, if you ask me. Now, you also have the ability to use the super emojis in. Maybe you guys don't know this. Like if you hit the little emoji button, emotes, like you can do. I'm putting some in now. You can do any of these emotes only if you're a member. That's another member benefit. Maybe you did not know that, but now you do. Okay, well, Jose, if you want range, then yeah, Sherman L all day long. Sherman L for sure. Save yourself $1,000, get a Sherman L. And it performs well. Sherman L is a strong wheel. Jose says the P6 cannot be UL certified. Let's see. I still have the InMotion site up. Let me just look here, see if it mentions UL certification. It's weird though. I guess. I mean, I would just think that if they started with the V9 doing that, I would assume that they would do that with all their wheels after the V9. Maybe not. Let's see. Has a lot of V9 features. I see. Has the dual USB charging. Has the same awesome screen, or it looks like the same awesome screen that a V12. Did I say V9? Same awesome screen as a V12S. Let's see. I'm just looking to see anything about UL certification. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does not appear to. I mean, if it is UL certified, they don't appear to mention it on the website. So yeah, maybe not. Oh, okay. Oh, I guess I should have read the next comment. So Jose said it was too high of a voltage to get UL certified. Okay, gotcha. Oh, I can see if I just read the chat, I wouldn't have to be doing this searching. P6 is not UL certified. Great. Oh, did I mention this is totally random and totally nothing to do with EUCs? Did I mention? I think, yeah, this is since my last live stream. But I played my first pickleball tournament and I won. Me and my partner, we won the 3.5 skill division. This is a very small tournament. There's only 6 teams in my division, but we did win. And I believe that has happened since my last live stream. So there you go. Sterling says Albert just dropped a story time video about the P6. Okay, I have not seen that, Sterling. Mama Seat. Instead of restrictions, a driver's ed test should be mandatory so we know the person knows the road rules and insurance. The issue isn't the speed, basic road awareness and courtesy is lacking. Yeah. No, there is definitely a problem, especially in my area. I see that a lot of people that either can't afford cars or I don't know, but they are on bikes and they're on e-bikes. And they don't do random things like obey traffic laws. They don't verify that a driver sees them before they cross in front. I see that all the time. They'll just blow right by. They don't even look to see if the driver sees them, and lo and behold, they get hit. Imagine that. But again, that all to add that to a DMV system is probably much harder than it sounds to do all that, Mamacita. But I do agree, it's coming. I think it's coming. Scamster says I had a police officer at my house recently. He said EUCs are generally off their radar because the riders are more skilled, therefore don't cause them any workload as far as accidents. Okay, well. Unfortunately, that's going to be a roll of the dice. There's people there's sometimes you're going to roll into situations like that. Sometimes you can roll into situations where someone, a law enforcement officer, is on a power trip and he just wants to make you have a bad day. There are definitely law enforcement officers like that. So you just never know what you're going to get. Jose says, no way I would pay $5,000 for less than 100-mile range. Well, then again, it sounds like you made up your mind. Get a Sherman now. Dale pointing out he's a member and moderator. That is true. Yeah, I do have a few moderators in the channel. Dale's a moderator. Tommy EUC Vibes, who is still off in the Dabbleverse in his newly rebranded channel, which I'm very confused by. I still can't understand exactly why all these people are that interested in Stuttering John and what's going on there. But Yeah, Tommy, formerly known as EUC Vibes, is a moderator, and Simon is a moderator. And I think that might be it. I think I might have 3 moderators. Simon's not here tonight, though. Scamster says, please look at scooters because any idiot can ride one instantly. Well, same thing with the e-bikes, right? Same thing. Danny says, has to be under 120 volts DC to get UL cert. Okay, well, maybe that's one of the reasons that the V12S is 84 volts, I guess. Thank you, Jose. Thank you on the win. I know the pickleball content that I post to my site doesn't get a lot of activity, but it is. I do have the games from that tournament on there. I do have a dedicated site just for my pickleball content called Pickled You. The word pickled, YOU, that is my dedicated pickleball site, and I do have a lot more pickleball content on there than my main site, if you care. Just like I have a dedicated EUC Army site, which actually just crossed 2,000 subscribers, believe it or not. Those of you that, like, there's some people that they just want whatever focus area that they're interested in on a channel. Like some people, it bothers them that I have all kinds of stuff on the main Duff channel. You know, a lot of PEV stuff, but there's anything of interest to me can be on this channel. EUC Army is just PEV content only. So, like any EUC video you see here will also be on EUC Army. And it just crossed 2,000 subscribers after, I think it's been in existence for, I don't know, 5 years, something like that. Slow growth. That's okay. Dale would be a no-skill zombie pickleball player. Yeah, probably do. A lot of fun though. I played this weekend. I played Saturday and Sunday for the first time ever. That's inaccurate. For the first time in a long time, I played both Saturday and Sunday. I've had lower body aches and pains for a long time, for at least a year. It's been at least a year since I've done that, maybe longer. But I played both days of the weekend, and I played twice during the week. So knock on glass, my lower body issues have been better lately. So I'm hoping that continues. Did you guys know that I posted my first picture of me and my girlfriend on social media ever? Was it last week I did that? I mean, it was a filtered picture with a cartoon filter on it, so you can't really tell much. But yeah, I did post my first picture of us on social media. Again, random fact. It's crazy, these Alcolos, man. I'm almost through the second one. I'm only going to drink 2, but they do impact me much more than Cayman Jack. Mamacita, I think, to Scamster, I think that's the case in most places. You can't buy one without going through a learning curve, which is like a driving test. But even still, many sketchy riders. Yes, there are sketchy riders. There are people that are more interested in how many eyeballs they can get on them, and just by kind of showboating and just doing silly, dangerous things. Like, did you see? I don't. I can't pull it up, but there's a video of someone. I'm not sure what wheel he was on. He's on the highway, seated. He was seated on the highway, and while he's riding seated among cars, going, I don't know, God knows how fast, he took his feet off the pedals and was dangling his feet in the front of the wheel in the highway. Which again, it's a hey, look at me kind of thing, and I hate that mentality. Unfortunately, that's a mentality in our hobby. Hey, look at me. I mean, it's a mentality in the world, I guess. Hey, look at me. But I mean, it just seemed reckless and stupid. It reminded me of, like, you know, the guys that are on like Surons and stuff that are riding wheelies in the middle of traffic. I thought it was really dumb. And I'm sure some of you have seen that, but I'm like, what the F, man, really? Jose says cyclists aren't any better most of the time. Um, I mean, around here, that's not the case. People on pedal bikes aren't going crazy fast like on a electric bike. New York City, like bicycle messengers, I know they had a reputation of riding recklessly for a long time. What time is it? 9:27. Can't go too late. It's a school night. Cameron says buying the P6 while owning a Sherman L is how I know I have an irrational addiction. Well, it's good to have self-awareness, Cameron. I found that since I've gotten older, the older I get, the more self-awareness I have. And it's good to be able to have that self-awareness. So good for you. Um, yeah. And I mean, my addiction when it comes to EUCs is much, much less than it was, at its height. I've been in this hobby for a long time. So I guess it's not that strange that there's an ebb and a flow, and I'm definitely in an ebb. Um, but yeah, owning a Sherman L and buying a P6 while owning it, that's interesting. But I mean, a Sherman L apparently is going to get you a lot more range than a P6. So if you are a range rider, then you're going to probably want to take the Sherman L out. Sterling says the biggest issues locally here in Boise, Idaho, are all the teenagers or young. Oh, okay. Ironically, you just mentioned that. Are younger on Surons and eater bikes, running red lights, speeding, and running from the cops. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think that is. There are definitely a lot more of those type of riders and EUC riders out there, and I have seen people locally, kids, or I assume they're kids, riding, down Tamiami Trail, 3 lanes of traffic, both sides on their Suron or what are some of the other names of the popular electric motorcycles or dirt bikes? I should know these because I am subscribed to Suronster. I think the Alcolos are affecting my memory. But anyways, yeah, riding wheelies in traffic. I mean, it's crazy. Or zipping in and out. I mean, although motorcycles do that as well, but yeah, they at least motorcycles have license plates, so that they definitely do not represent well for personal electric vehicles for sure. Uh, Jose, it's pickled you. I'll put it in chat. Hold on. It's pickled you. If you search that on YouTube, you'll find it. Stuff for Wimbledon. Well, no, this is pickleball, Stuart. This isn't tennis. My body would not hold up for tennis, but it does seem to be doing okay for pickleball. Although it is interesting. I was for a good portion of last year. I was playing sand volleyball once a week as well, and I've actually dropped that from my schedule for the last few weeks just because it was just beating me up too bad. I would feel like shit afterwards, and then I couldn't play pickleball. And if I have to take or if I have to make a choice between pickleball and sand volleyball, I will take pickleball at this point in my life. So I've been doing better since I dropped the sand volleyball from my schedule. Speak of the devil, Marty is here, dropping in to say hi, Duff. Hey, Marty, what's up, buddy? We were talking about range tests in the P6. Marty, someone mentioned that Black Cobra did a range test in the P6 and he got 41 miles or something like that, and that seems ridiculous for a 4,200 watt hour battery. So we were talking about if anyone else has done a range test, and I know that you are a range test god, so we were curious if you did one yet. Oh, okay. Well, see, so the P6 appears to be in line with the L regards range. Okay, interesting. So what the hell? Why would Cobra only get 41 miles? Because when you do your range test on the L, it gets close to 100 miles, doesn't it, Marty? Interesting. Because I can't believe that Cobra would be doing a range test at like 40 miles an hour. Marty says, don't believe Duff regards the P6 range. I'm actually riding one. No, I'm not. I didn't say that I know what the range is. I was just relaying what someone said about Black Cobra doing a range test. And those numbers did not sound accurate based on the size of the battery. If you can verify that the range is actually significantly higher, that's great. No, Marty, I don't proclaim to know things that I don't know. Unlike some examples I could give for yourself, which I brought up earlier. Do you remember, Marty, the quote you gave during a prior live stream, probably a month or two to the P6 announcement, that absolutely InMotion was not going to do a performance wheel anytime in the near future. Do you remember that quote, Marty? Because I can pull it up for you if you like. So yeah, my point was, well, yeah, Marty. Sometimes, Marty, not often, but sometimes your information is not accurate. Okay, so Jose said that someone posted. Well, maybe that someone was Black Cobra. I don't know. But I mean, when it comes to range tests, I would take Marty's word over pretty much anybody else's, because Marty is Mr. Range Test after all. Mamacita says that's Black Cobra range in the P6. You have a different riding ethos to him. Well, I mean, Cobra is a bigger guy. I mean, Cobra weighs, I don't know, 230 pounds, probably at least 240. I don't know. So he's heavier. But on a range test, I don't think he would be hauling ass. I don't know. I hadn't seen the video, so I don't know. Marty says the P6 equals the L. Okay, well, let me ask you this question, Marty, because if you just came in, Blue Collar Jose said if you had the option to buy a Sherman L for $4,000 or less, or a P6 for $5,000, what would you buy? What is the better value? My answer to him was the Sherman L at $4,000. I'm curious, since you're riding the P6, what your answer would be on that. That would be a valuable answer, Marty. Danny says maybe Cobra had 10 psi in the tire. Well, if he did, that rim would be flattened out. Anakin said Albert posted the stats on Facebook 25 minutes ago. Albert posted Marty's results. Where at? Let me see. Where did he post it? Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe an emotion. No, I'm not seeing it. Maybe he posted it in the Electric Unicycle Forum group. Or Marty could just tell us the results. That's viable as well, Marty. Marty did an accident. Let me share the screen. Marty did an accidental lift test on the P6 and got 124.7 miles an hour at 19% battery. Okay. Seems fast. I don't see Marty's range test results. Marty explaining the discrepancy in Cobra range results versus himself. Because Cobra was probably riding it like a bat out of hell. I try and be scientific with my numbers. Yeah, I know you do. I know. InMotion P6 official page. All right. There's a dedicated page and I didn't know there was a dedicated P6 page for InMotion. Oh, there's a P6 official group. All right. Okay. Oh, here's the P6 range story time. All right. I'm okay. Let me share this again. Let me make myself smaller. Let's hide the comment. Okay, I'm reading. So he did a range test of 30 miles and 6,000 feet elevation climbed. On the ride, the Sherman L would have about 70% battery, whereas the P6 was only showing 45% battery. Albert talked to Marty and Mark Yu to figure out why there was such a large discrepancy. Okay. Okay, the idle consumption of the P6 was significantly higher than the Sherman L. New data found by Marty Backey. So Marty discovered that the wheel was reporting 19% battery at 194.3 volts. Okay, so it was calculating the amount incorrectly for battery voltage. So it sounds like they're going to do some firmware difference changes. All right. Well, it sounds like Marty is going to be the official range test god for the P6. Nice. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's a post by Albert about the P6 overheating. Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to read more of this stuff when I have some more time. That's interesting. Primo, what up? What's up, Primo? You going to the P6 demo in Tampa on the 15th? I don't think so. I don't think so, Primo, but except from the way that you're asking, I assume that you are going. But no, I don't think I'm going to do the 2.5 hours to ride the P6. But I will understand why you would, since you're getting a P6, from what I understand. Marty can do the consistent average speed and distance every time. Yeah, I mean, Jose, he has a defined range test course he does normally. So yeah. I never. Oh, Marty. You did say that. You absolutely said that Emotion had no race wheel in the works anytime soon. You absolutely said that. I can pull it up for you if you want. Not right now. Project Anakin. Cobra weighs no. Come on, Cobra's not that big. He's a big boy, but he's not that big. Maybe he's 250. I don't know. Jose says he reviewed the Oryx Panther and Master Pro. It was the most apples to apples comparison. What are you talking about? Marty did? Marty won't give absolute, in quotes, range numbers, but comparative numbers. Okay. Well, that's fine. Sherman L. So, which suspension do you think is better, Marty? The Sherman L or the P6? I'm curious. Yeah, I would. I mean, my opinion would be for $1,000 less, the Sherman L is a better value. The P6 does seem like a pretty kick-ass wheel. Cameron's getting excited. I don't know, Marty, if you heard, but Cameron said he sold some Apple stock to be able to afford his P6. Marty says, I have not, capital NOT, I have not done any formal range tests, so don't believe anyone who says different. You heard it here. Okay, I believe you. So yeah, okay, yeah, I just got that from reading that little blurb there, Marty, that the battery percentage was being displayed incorrectly. The P6 is not reporting accurate percentages. It's weird, right? It's weird that you be the one to discover that, right? I don't know. For me, remember all that extensive testing that was being done over in China? I'm kind of surprised that you're the one that discovers that, but good for you. Marty's been talking to Albert. Good, good. Jose says Marty is probably not going to hit the 500 amp limit. I wonder if Roger would. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I don't think Marty would. Scamster gets around 100 kilometers of range on my L with no tilt back in that time, so that's about 60 miles. How far more I could go, I haven't tested. Well, I thought Marty has hit 100 miles on his L. Is that not correct, Marty? Maybe I'm incorrect. I thought you hit 100 miles on your L, but that's like doing mountains, where you're going up, but then you're regenning on the way down. So Primo's thumbnail of Marty is hilarious. I didn't see that. Primo's thumbnail of Marty. Scamster remembers Marty saying what I said as well. See, Marty. I mean, you're getting older, Marty, so your memory might not be what it once was. But yeah, you did say that. But it's okay. You're normally right, just not always. Mamacita. Some riders have stated the Panther has better suspension than the L. I mean, when I rode the L, I mean, the suspension was okay. It didn't blow me away. I like the suspension on my Patton actually more than the L, the way I felt as far as being plush. Panther, I don't know. Never rode a Panther. Marty says, in motion specifically says the P6 is not. Come on, Marty. Come on, man. Come on. Says the P6 is not a race wheel. Okay, it's not a race wheel, but InMotion has a race team where the whole team is wearing InMotion race leathers and they're all riding P6s and they are getting the top 5 spots in the races that they're doing. Okay, Mark. All right. Okay. That sounds like I don't know if you know what this word means, Marty, but it sounds like copium. Have you ever heard the word copium? That sounds like copium to me. P6 is the best suspension ever made. Really? Okay. I mean, it's mid-mount suspension. Let's see. And it's an oil-based. It's a hydraulic shock, right? It's oil-based. I wonder, is it fast ace? I'm looking here. 90 millimeters of travel. It is hydraulic. Okay. So the suspension on the P6 is better than the hydraulics, the fast ace suspension on the veteran wheels. Okay. Well, again, I would take your word on that for sure. Jose says the P6 being 117 pounds would definitely not be considered a race wheel, but it did dominate TEF1. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Marty. I mean, to say that the P6 is not a race wheel that has an advertised top speed of 93 miles an hour. Okay, okay. Marty says everyone has been focusing on the P6 in terms of speed, not range. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, including InMotion. All the InMotion promotional material is about its performance, its top speed, its acceleration, right? So, Oh, that's funny. I just got an email from King Song. It's fun. It's funny. King Song reached out to me about like I posted on social media some stuff about the F-18 and how I thought it was a Lynx competitor, but it was just too late, and I was kind of critical about the F-18. And King Song actually reached out to me about testing the F-18, like sending it to me and testing it. And I said, okay, yeah, sure, I'll test it. That was like 2 weeks ago. Then I heard nothing. I got crickets. I'm like, okay, well, I guess they don't want me to test it. I just got an email that came in. I follow up from King Song. I guess they're really slow in reading their emails or something. So yeah, I don't know. Will I get an F-18 to test? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Scamster says the V12S doesn't report accurate percentage, and then you look at another wheel's percentage readings at the same cell voltage. Okay, well then maybe that's just an emotion firmware issue, I guess. Channel member Simon is here. What's up, Simon? How you doing, buddy? Welcome. Stream's been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's not going on too much longer because it's a Monday evening, and unlike certain people like Marty, I have to work tomorrow, so not going to go on too much longer, but we'll carry on a little bit here. Dale says, how is it the best when it's a copy of two other wheels? What's the best? Are you talking about the P6, Dale? What are you talking about? Yeah, Jose, like has InMotion shown a video of someone going 93 miles an hour on the wheel? I don't know how you can do that with wind pressure. I don't know how you could do that with the wind pressure associated with going 93 miles an hour. If there is such a video, I have not seen it. Mamacita. Yes. Mamacita stating the obvious. People have been focusing on the speed of the P6 because that was their marketing strategy for the wheel. Exactly. Yes. That is what they've been focusing on for sure. Performance, performance, performance. So Marty says, I'm totally serious that they do not consider the P6 a race wheel, although they are racing it. They are working on a true race wheel. Okay. Like the Begode race. We've seen how well that worked out. Hey, Marty, I've heard Dale and other people have mentioned that they think that Begode is having some significant financial issues. Do you think that Begode might go bankrupt, go out of business? Some of their actions might make you think that. Marty says the P6 suspension is a more robust version of the V12S, but better. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, the V12S suspension is very good. I do like that. So, okay, cool. Simon says 93 miles an hour was always bullshit. Lying about a wheel's top speed is business as usual from InMotion. Remember when they said the V13 was going to be the fastest wheel in the world? Yes, I do remember that. InMotion does have a track record of exaggerating, I would say. Although, I don't know. You would think to publish that number as much as they did, that there would be something to back that up. I've never seen someone go 93 miles an hour on a wheel. Maybe Marty's seen a video, like a secret underground video of it, but I have not. Oh, Dale's talking about the P6 suspension as far as copying, like the Fast Ace design. Well, I mean, regardless of who it was copied from, if it performs well and feels good, I mean, that's all I really care about. John Sarpada, when you get the F-18, I don't know that I'm getting the F-18. I'll read the email quickly. Hold on. Let me just speed read this. I won't do this on stream, though. Okay. They're thrilled to introduce me to the F-18. They're showing me they're telling me about some of the specs. We love to, what the heck? They're sending me the same email I got before that I said. They basically sent me the same email asking if I was interested in testing the wheel, which I already responded to. Oh, yeah. Sure, I would be happy to test the wheel. Maybe they forgot. It's so funny because yeah, I mean, we got to the point where they said, "Oh yeah, like there's like a contract you have to sign." I guess it guarantees they won't steal the wheel or something. Yeah, we got to that point, and now we're back to would you like to test it? Okay, more examples of King Song being King Song, I guess. Maybe their public relations department are kind of a mess as well. Marty says, I've ridden every suspension wheel and owned most. I honestly believe the P6 has the best, most plush suspension ever delivered. Well, I mean, I would put weight into that because I know that you've had all these suspension wheels and you appreciate suspension as much as I do. So yeah, if Marty says the suspension is really good, I believe him. Jose's heading to bed. All right, buddy. Thanks again for being a member and sleep well. Marty says, if you face to face talk to emotion, they say it's not a race wheel. What can I say? Okay. I'm not disputing that, Marty, but I mean, for you to say that emotion was not working on a high performance race wheel and they introduced the P6 that supposedly goes 93 miles an hour, there's a little bit of, I don't know, fuzzy math there, I would say. Mamacita says in motion should have stated it's 93 miles an hour lift speed, not right. Well, I don't think that's true though. The lift speed is higher than 93 miles an hour. That's where they shot themselves with advertising it. Well, they continue to advertise it, so they mustn't think it's a problem. Marty says, but Go won't go out of business. I don't think they'll be releasing as many wheels for a while. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I stated earlier, Marty, that the Begode race seems to be a flop, right? Or like a black eye, kind of like they introduced the race, like a 210-volt wheel, setting the new voltage standard and selling it for a ridiculous price on begode.com. And then people got it and it overheats, has quality control issues, cutouts. It seems like the race is kind of a black eye. And now they've already moved on from the race. Now they're on to what's it called? What's it called? The X Max, or I don't know. I can't keep track of their weird wheel names, but it seems like the Begode race was kind of an embarrassment. Imagine if you bought one. Oh, I heard about this. Simon said the fastest wheel was Phantomos and doing 130 kilometers an hour on a Russian-made wheel. I heard about that Russian-made wheel. I think Primo actually did a video about that. King Song equals yes. Well, Marty, remember you used to say something very, very similar about In Motion. Do not forget that. You used to say emotions were like toys and embarrassed they weren't manly wheels. Remember? Maybe I have a better memory than you, Marty, but I seem to have cataloged every negative thing that you say for some reason. Let's see. Mamacita says, "Oh yeah, yeah, I heard Phantomos cut out. Yeah, I didn't see the wheel. I didn't see the video, and I didn't see the end result of him cutting out." Did he? Simon says he saw the road rash. Did he have on like really significant crash gear? Like, did he have on like a full motorcycle gear or not? Buggy Danny says there are sports cars and race cars. They are quite different. I guess they are saying the P6 is a sports wheel and not a race wheel. Okay. Well, for not being a race wheel, it's doing pretty damn good. Let's just say that. We'll leave it at that, right? Even if it is not technically a race wheel, it's kicking the ass of everything else that's currently available in races. Dale says to Marty, "You really think Begode won't go out of business? You really, capitals, UREALLY, think that?" Seems like Dale is, I don't know, Dale's not on board, Marty. They haven't paid their wages for months and owe their suppliers. Keybuy won't be broke, but Begode will. Okay. They are even reaching out to dealers they burnt, asking for help to move the existing stock. Either you're covering for them or you just weren't aware of their actual situation. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, Marty's always kind of portrayed himself as being pretty dialed into Begode, so I don't know. Scamster says, "I saw on one of the videos that 93 miles an hour is a theoretical speed, so on paper it's possible." I don't get that. I mean, I do kind of tend to call bullshit on that as well, because of aerodynamics and wind pressure on someone standing at 93 miles an hour, I can't imagine how they would pull that off. Marty says they pushed out the race to make needed money. So that's why they sold it at such a low price. Roger and Cameron were riding the race this weekend and loved them, but they had to rebuild their wheels to make them nice. Glad I didn't buy one. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to rebuild a brand new wheel, in my opinion. Stan says, "I wonder why manufacturers don't have a low production, high quality line for those willing to pay extra for high end quality." I don't know. I mean, paying $5,000 for a P6 is kind of paying for quality, isn't it? Sort of, Stan. Marty says, "I agree about how I used to talk about emotion, not denying that. Times have changed, but right now, King Song lost their mojo." Yeah, well, I mean, the F-22 was a decent wheel. I mean, if the F-22 didn't have pedals that absolutely made my feet and ankles feel horrible, it would have been a good wheel for me. The F-18, it seems like a good wheel. I've seen a couple, the handful of people, a couple people literally on social media that have one seem to be singing its praises and really like it. But to me, it's a Lynx. It's a Lynx with slightly maybe better suspension, maybe slightly better performance, but it's a Lynx, and the Lynx is kind of old news, right? It's a good wheel, but it's old news. And King Song's releasing it in 2025, late 2025. Simon talking about Phantomos. He had not enough gear on for that cutout speed. You would need a leather motorcycle racing suit for a crash like that. Oh, you mean like the suits that in motion in motion riders wear for their races? Those are nice. Those are nice racing suits. Mamacita, he had next to none for that kind of riding. Oh, wow. Okay. Talking about Phantomos again. I don't think it was a cutout, but something to do with the wind lifting him off the wheel. Oh, yeah, I did hear that. I heard that he like stood up in a weird way. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Again, going 93, you'd have the same issue. You could literally like lift yourself off the wheel if you are not locked in with your body angle, right? You become a wing. But anyways, yeah, Fantoma says the wind lifting him off the wheel, causing him to fall backwards. His butt took majority of the impact. Ouch. Yeah, it's not fun. I've had issues falling on my hip / rear end, and that was not fun. Remember, Dale is a Gotway hater. Well, remember, Marty, Begode sent him a T4, right? So I think he hates Begode less than he did. So I don't know, but I mean, if what he's saying is true about them not paying wages and owing suppliers and all this kind of shit, those are red flags. When there's smoke, there's normally fire. So if what he's saying is true, I would say that's significant. Marty knows the Begode is struggling. I hope they stick around, and I think they will. Well, I was talking earlier, Marty. I mean, like for a long time, they've had this business practice of just rolling out a wheel seemingly like one a month, or I mean, just crazy. And oftentimes the wheels that they're rolling out are making wheels that they already are selling obsolete. And I can't imagine that that's great in the big picture for manufacturing, for support, for the dealer network, for them to continue to do that for years. That seems like a recipe for a bad bottom line, at least to me. Lots of excess inventory of wheels that are no longer wanted. I mean, it sounds like a mess. But maybe you know more. Stan says, "In Motion must have the scientific rider equation in their lockbox. I would love to see their optimal rider weight math to achieve 93 miles an hour." Well, I think a lot of people would like to see that, Stan. Like the famous quote, like if it's not on video, it didn't happen. I have not seen a video of someone going 93 miles an hour. Marty says, "Maybe the King song wheels are great, but does anyone care? It's going to be a struggle for them to get people to care." Well, if Bago goes out of business, maybe they'll care more. Maybe. Although, I mean, my two favorite manufacturers are In Motion and Veterans. So, I mean, both Pagoda and King Song could go away, and it wouldn't really make me cry. Dale does not have got away. Did you get rid of your T4? No, didn't you say you sold that or gave that away to somebody, Dale? Your T4? I mean, you seem to like your T4 when you had it. You rode a lot of miles on it. But again, it doesn't compare to veteran wheels or In Motion wheels. Mamacita King Song has still has a place in my heart. The 16X was my first powerful wheel, and I truly enjoyed it. I like my 16X as well. Learned a lot of navigating the roads on it, but they definitely dropped the ball. Yeah, they definitely did. The King Song S20/S22 was a disaster in the King Song EUC history timeline. Yeah, Marty, we were talking also. Marty says regarding Bago, they're hosting a wheel development event in December. Doesn't sound like they're about to go out of business. It was interesting that they also announced that they are partnering with Seth Johnson's company, E-Ride Life, which I didn't even know that was a thing until tonight. People educated me that Seth is going to be the official repair shop, I guess, for wheels that are sold on Bago.com, which I think is a smart move, because when they announced that they were selling wheels direct to consumer, that was a question I had. Like, okay, so what happens when you buy a wheel and it has a problem? Like, how are they going to service that? You're going to be shuttling parts back and forth between China and the United States. So that sounds like a mess. So partnering with them is good, I guess. But they're probably partnering with them because they've pissed off all the other bigger dealers in the United States. Dale's T4 got destroyed when I let someone ride it. Okay, I did not know that, Dale. Okay, sorry to hear that. Cameron says the P6 achieved 86 miles an hour indicated, and also in Motion regarding the P6 launch said this: "Within just a few days, we received an overwhelming number of orders from riders all around the world." Well, I mean, I would expect that came from the marketing department. I would expect them to say that, right? You want to build consensus. You want to get the feeling out that you want to get FOMO. You want to get the FOMO out there in the EUC market, so people don't want to miss out on this great deal on the P6. So, whether that's valid or not, I don't know. As far as achieving 86 miles an hour indicated, let's see the video. Let's see the video of that. I have not seen it. That maybe I missed it, but I have not seen it. Marty loves your Pagode wheels and In Motion and Libra Kim. I noticed you didn't mention King Song in that list, Marty. Mamacita, I've tried quite a few wheels, and it's going to take something very similar to the EX30 for me to invest. I saw Liam actually advertise that he has a couple EX30s left. I guess he has some new old stock left. that he's if you want a good deal on an EX30, he's selling EX30s. I think he said for $1,900. 3,600 watt hour wheel. So if you want a good deal on a long range wheel, you can get an EX30 from Leam. Cameron's so Max got 80. Is that on a video, Cameron? That Max hit 86 on the P6? Because I had not heard or seen that. Primo says, "Sucks you ain't going to the demo, but if you want to check out the P6, I can swing by your neck of the woods in January." Yeah, cool, Primo. Yeah, I'd love to meet you. I think we can make that happen. Yeah, P6 just isn't a wheel. I mean, the P6 is a cool wheel. It represents a lot as far as performance and build and features. It's a cool wheel. It's just not a wheel that I need. I know that you have a need for speed. You like to ride fast, so I think the P6 will be a great wheel for you. Yeah, if you want to bring it over to Naples, I'll be happy to give it a try. Stan says, didn't the same guy that designed the Nosfet Aero design the Kingsong S20? I think he might have designed the S18, actually, Stan. I think he might have designed the S18, if I'm not mistaken. If so, he was a Nosfet agent assigned to sabotage the Kingsong legacy. Yeah, I think it's the S18. If my memory has not betrayed me after drinking 2 Alcolos. Marty says the Emotion will sell 1 million P6s if they are priced at $3,500. Oh, I agree, 100%. 100%, they would. Simon says his EX30 is still going great after 5,000 miles. Solid wheel, yeah, for sure. EX30 is definitely. That's a sign that I'm getting tired. By the way, EX30 is a solid, proven wheel, and $1,900 for a new one is a pretty good price. Okay, so Cameron said that Albert made a post about that hitting 86 miles an hour in Facebook in the P6 official group. Again, I don't know. I would like to see the video if there was one, but maybe there wasn't. Marty has the S16. You still have that thing? Really? I couldn't even begin to guess, Marty, how many wheels you actually have now. I could not imagine how many wheels you have. I'm sure it's at least 20, but it might have creeped up into the mid-20s at this point. Why you want that many wheels? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Mamacita. Okay, so he did design the S22. I could have swore that they said that he worked on the S18, like when Jack was doing his background video about Nosfet. Okay, so he worked on the S22. Okay. Well, I mean, if you worked in the S22, obviously you learned some lessons because the Nosfet suspension wheels are pretty darn cool. Although the Aero, I think is cooler than the Apex, in my opinion. Do I need any wheel duff? No. Well, no. Well, that depends, Marty. I mean, it's based on people that are really big enthusiasts. You're a big enthusiast. I mean, me, but less and less so. I mean, I'm not riding that much anymore. But for you, I mean, you're a big enthusiast, but 20 some wheels, right? Well, do you want to give me the number? Are you willing to give the number of EUCs that you currently have on your property? Because my quick guess is 25. I bet you have 25 wheels right now, and that's fine. Whatever. But it seems excessive. Even being retired, I can't imagine that you get to ride, especially with the way that you ride. Yeah, how you mostly are a distance guy. How a lot of those wheels are even valid for you anymore. 134 volts is so yesterday. And referring to the EX30. I couldn't need with those anymore. Super slow to charge. Okay, gotcha. Is it literally 20 or is it 20 and change, Marty? Be honest. Oh wait, I got a follow up email from King Song. Let me see. Hmm. Well, this doesn't sound very. Okay, let's share this. This doesn't sound very exciting to me. They said, well, let me share this. So I said, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to test the wheel. Thank you so much for your response. We may collaborate with you in our second round of testing. Why are they testing? why are they testing F-18s? They're supposed to be available to the public. Okay, let's stay in touch, and I wish you all the best. Okay, so I translate that into my interpretation of that would be Duff. You're not going to get an F-18 to test. That's my interpretation of that email. That's fine. Whatever. You know, if they want me to test it, I would. If they don't, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It's fine. Primo's. Oh, so you just made this thumbnail today, Primo? I'll have to check it out tomorrow. Marty owes me 3 wheels after I made him famous today. Yeah. Well, he can probably afford to give you 3, maybe even 5, Primo. The P6 fully charges in 1 hour with their 14 amp 235 volt charger. It charges 0 to full in an hour. That can't be right, Marty. I thought they advertised a couple hours, like 4 hours or something like that. As Stan says, isn't Marty an astronaut? His love correlates with his occupation, I think. Well, he was an engineer. Stan laughing at testing the F-18, right? Yeah. It's another example of King Song doing things ass backwards. Okay, we're going to release the wheel to the public. Okay, Duff, do you want to review the wheel for us? Okay, sure. Mamacita, been a fun stream. Oh wait, you know what? Hold on, because I'm going to be shutting this down because it's getting late and I'm getting tired. My voice is straining. Been going on for a while, for 2 hours and 47 minutes, much longer than normal on a weeknight. I did want to end the poll. I have a poll in here about how many wheels you bought this year. I don't know if Marty answered it or not. Interesting. Okay, let's end this poll. End poll. So yeah, look at that. Half of the people that answered now is 47 votes. Half of the people have bought no wheels this year. That's interesting to me. I said, Marty, earlier, technically I bought 1 wheel, the F-22 Pro, but then I traded the F-22 Pro for the NOSFET Aero, so I didn't pay for the Aero technically. And then King Song sent me the V12S. So I've technically had 3 wheels this year, but I've only paid for 1. So 1 would be my answer. So yeah, the overwhelming majority bought no wheels, and if you add the top 2 answers, the 81% of the people have bought 1 wheel or less, with 15% buying 2 wheels in 2025, and only 4% buying more than 2. So, Marty, if you answered the poll, although I don't know how many wheels you actually pay for, Marty, I don't know if you count paying for air shipping on a wheel as buying a wheel or not. So I don't know what your answer would be, but my answer technically would be 1. I bought 1, but that is interesting that many people have bought no wheels this year. Very interesting to me. I don't know if it is to you, but it is to me. Okay. So, okay. So Marty sold your EX30 Commander. I can't believe you still had a Commander Mini. Making room for new wheels, keeping the count 20 or under. It's funny. I remember when that number used to be 10. You said you want to keep your wheel count under 10. Now you're trying to keep it under 20. Okay, well, good. Oh, you sold your master as well. Okay, sorry, I missed that. Cool. Good, Marty. You should. Dale pointing out that even fast chargers will slow down for the last part of the charge. Yeah, they should. Marty, do you see yourself getting out of EUCs? Well, I mean, all you got to do is look at my channel and you can see that there's dramatically less EUC content going on, much more pickleball content than EUC content. I would say because of changes in my personal life in the last year or 2025, I would say, I've had other things that have been taking my focus. Other than wheels, and I still ride, but not. It's hard to even call me an enthusiast at this point. I still enjoy when I ride, but I've seemed to always have something else going on that is taking my attention and time away from riding. So it definitely has changed. It's funny, like I've had this conversation with a lot of people. And it seems to me, and this isn't talking negatively about people that are really into EUCs, right? Because I have been that person. But it seems to me in my amateur psychological evaluation that a lot of people that are really into EUCs, they're really into EUCs because there's something else lacking in their existence, right? Something's missing, and EUCs and that hobby is filling a void of some sort, and what that void is probably depends on the person. And I think for me, there definitely were voids that were being filled, and right now, I've been pretty happy with the way things are. So there hasn't been that much attention on EUCs for me. Would I ever get out of the hobby? Totally, no, I don't think so. Although, like with drones, I got out of that hobby pretty much completely. Don't do drones really at all, even though I do own 2 of them still. Let's see, calisthenics was a big hobby for me. I still do them, but I don't do them publicly, and not nearly to the degree that I once did. So I don't know, Marty. I don't know. I'm not quite sure where things will go from here. My primary concern is not my hobbies versus my personal happiness, and that has been going well, and that's what I'm most concerned with. So if other things shift in my reality, that's okay. If I'm happy with how things are going otherwise, that's really all that matters. Primo says, I have a sinking feeling Duff will leave EUCs for pickleball. Well, it's not. I've played pickleball for 4 years, Primo. 4 years. I've just been putting more of it out there lately. And I definitely play more time. I spend more time playing pickleball than I do riding EUCs, but it's not leaving EUCs, but it's just a shift in focus. Shift in focus. It happens. It happens. It definitely happens. Marty talking about fast chargers. He considers a full charge 20 to 90%, whereas Dale considers a full charge when it's full, 100%. Marty says regarding the poll, I guess there aren't many enthusiasts here. I mean, that's crazy, right? 47 votes, and half the people haven't bought an EUC this year. Well, Marty, you are an enthusiast. Although, Marty, you relate, right? As far as like hobbies, because remember, you were real big into woodworking, and you still do it, right? You have the big shop with all that equipment, but it definitely has fallen to the side as far as your hobbies go. Your primary hobbies have been EUCs for many years now. So, you're familiar with the way that interests and focuses change. So, I think it's just a example of that. Really, it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. Marty's bought 3, so you paid for 3 wheels, really? Wow, I'm kind of surprised by that. Stan, that makes sense. I haven't seen your Dunkin' runs in quite some time. Yeah, most of the times I'm driving to Dunkin' Donuts with Elsa in my truck most of the time, just because I like to get her in rides. Um, and the Dunkin' Donuts now is much closer to me, so it's not that much of a ride to get there. It's like, a little bit more than 2 miles away from my house, so I'm there in 10 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. So that's another reason you've seen less Dunkin' rides. Kurt Flirt, honest and good response. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, life is all about. Even though I'm very much a routine based person, I like routine. I'm not a huge fan of change. I recognize that change is good. I think change in what you do and how you think is good. Um, like people that think and do the same things now that they did 20 years ago. I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing. You need to, I don't know, you need to kind of expand your horizons and experience different things, and that's kind of what I've been doing. But again, that's not me turning my back on electric unicycles. It's just different focuses, and things could come in and out of focus depending on how life goes. You never know. I got just as an example of you never really know what's going to happen, right? You make these plans or how you want to do this and that and the other thing. I got a very sad notification this weekend that my boss of 15 years at work, she had retired in 2014. She died Saturday. She died Saturday. She was close to Marty's age, I think 66, 67. She passed away, and yeah, unexpected. And it just, and I've had this reminder several times, or many times actually, in the last 5 years or so, that you just really never know what's going to happen. You never know how plans are going to work out. You never know how life's going to work out. So my focus has been to enjoy the time that I have, do stuff that I want to do, and be appreciative of that. And that's what I've been doing. The last year, it's been 2025. It's been a lot of that. I've been happier than I've been in a long time. Long time. Things have been good. So if things are good, then I must be doing something right. So, but doesn't mean that UCs are bad. Doesn't mean that. But I think my my ultra focus on EUCs for a long period of time had to do with other things that were missing out of my existence. I would think I was kind of filling a void somewhat. Doesn't mean everyone's doing that, but I think that it is. If you think about it, it kind of is that uh, with any hobby, really. Hobbies occupy a space in your life. Dale says most EUC writers have some form of mental health issue. I think Marty would not like that statement. But I don't know, Marty. I don't know. Maybe Marty's on meds. I don't know. Marty says, so that makes it difficult to get vendors to send you wheels for review, right? No surprise, I guess. Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Sure. Sure. I mean, if I'm sent a wheel, I would still review it just like as I always have, and put the same kind of effort into it. But yeah. And my main channel has never been solely EUC focused ever. Um, unlike your electric unicycles channel is EUC focused. Dale says, I don't obsess over EUC like I used to. There was a time I knew everything about every wheel. Now I can't be fucked with a lot of them. Yeah, no, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Marty, my life is one big void. Well, I don't know. I mean, EUC, because I mean, Marty and I mean, you and I have had discussions about how at least the social media part of everything, and like having to be involved with the newest and latest and greatest, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass, right? um and that was a while ago that we've had that discussion, and you're still front and center in it, so I guess you've decided that you like that role. But I don't really. I mean, that role is interesting and can be fun, but there's other things to me that are more important for me. I don't know enough about your personal life to know if you have any voids or not, Marty. I don't really know. As far as I know, you're a happily married man with a lot of cats. Stan, do I need a psychologist? No, no. Everyone has to make their own determination of what is and is not important to them, and is okay if that answer changes over time. It should actually. It should. I mean, you should not be the same person that you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You should not. You should not be the same person, in my opinion. This is all my opinion. Um, because time, life, situations change, and well, no, I shouldn't say that. I've been in therapy. I don't think I ever saw a psychologist, but I've been in therapy a couple times. Um, Marriage therapy, couples counseling, all that kind of crap. It didn't help me. That's the short story. Marty, as long as you're happy. Yes. Well, that exactly, Marty. And as long as you're happy in whatever situation you have right now, that's good too. I mean, it seems like you're happy. I see lots of pictures of you smiling with new wheels. So I assume you're happy. If that brings you happiness, that's all that matters. That's going to be a moving target depending on the individual that you ask what makes them happy. Scamster. Mental health. I ride them because they are more fun than cars and more convenient. No car parking, running costs. True. I've taken last couple months. I've taken my wheel to work a few times. I took the Arrow. I took the V9. It is fun, and actually, it's kind of crazy that I don't do it more than I do. Ironically, the reason I don't do it more than I do is because twice a week I pay pickleball at lunch, and I need to drive my car to the pickleball courts and back over my lunch hour. The wheel would take too long, so pickleball actually affects that plan as well. But I do try to do it once in a while. Dale says most of us would have bought 5 wheels this year if we could afford them. Yeah, amen. Wheel costs have been crazy. Marty, I started off the stream recalling back in 2016 time frame where an M Super, V3S, which was top of the line, cost us $1,200. Now we're talking about 4 times that, for a top of the line in the EUCs. And I know you made a case, I don't know if it was the last live stream or somewhere, that based on the performance and range that you get, that it's worth the money that wheels cost nowadays. But that's coming from someone that has a lot less monetary restrictions than the majority of people, I would say. Kurt, you forgot about his woodworking channel? I haven't forgotten about it. Yeah. Yeah, that was, obviously that was a huge hobby for Marty, and it fell by the wayside. Marty says, I agree. Hobbies grow and fade. You seem a bit more lifestyle though. Well, for you guys out there, that's never been the case for me. Like for you guys, it's so much. You have so many group rides. Like I know you do ride by yourself on occasion, but it seems like it's almost always a group activity for you guys. So it's social, and you make friends, and you're doing something that you all enjoy. It's like a bowling league, right? It's your version of a bowling league. Except you guys just go and ride wheels for 100 miles. So yeah, it is a lifestyle in that way, I guess. But anything can be a lifestyle. Pickleball can be a lifestyle. Calisthenics can be a lifestyle. How old is Marty? Doesn't look a day over 50. Marty is, how old are you, Marty? 65? Something like that? He's in that range, 60, 65, 66. Marty says, I still ride a wheel almost every day, at least for a few miles, at least 100 miles per week, I would say, after 9.5 years. Yeah, I know. I know you do, Marty. And that's, that's crazy. Not in a bad way, just crazy. Compared to me. Yeah. Because even at my peak, when I was full blown into EUCs, I was not going 100 miles a week. Not even close. Dale smokes weed and rides EUCs for your mental health. Hey, whatever works. EV717 did a great video about EUC mental health. I don't know that. I don't know who EV717 is. Kurt Flirt. I've noticed you don't post much about 3D printing as well. Are you still into 3D printing? Yeah, I do. I have a much like EUC Army. I have a dedicated YouTube channel for my 3D stuff, Duff 3D. I have 3 Bamboo Lab printers currently. I sold the last Prusa printers that I had actually last week. Those are the printers that I used to use a lot for my 3D stand production. Now, if I need to print stands, I can do it on my Bamboo Lab printers. So I just currently have, let's see what I have. I have 3 Bamboo Lab printers. I have a Snapmaker U1 that's going to probably come sometime in December. So I do still have a considerable amount of 3D content over on Duff 3D. I do post some of that here to the main channel. I do post a lot of it to other social media like Instagram or TikTok. You can follow me there. There's more content for 3D there probably as well. Dale says, some B once said to me, "You're nothing without your wheel, trying to be a nasty C," and I realized she was right. Yeah, like I think I don't want to now. I think maybe at some point like my identity was riding EUCs. Like that was a significant part of who I was, riding wheels, and it's not now. It's not anymore. And again, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it's just that's the way it was, but it's not that way anymore. And I see Dale just sent me a Facebook link. It's probably EV717. I'll check it out then. Marty says, "I'm enjoying EUC life for now. I know I'll be aging out soon. Who wants to hear from a 65-year-old dude? So I'm enjoying it while I can." Well, I mean, I know you like the attention and I don't know. Would you call it fame, Marty? I don't know what you would call it. I mean, I know you like that. I mean, I know your personality, and I know you do like that. You know that people look up to you for your opinions and that kind of stuff. So that's probably a hard thing to give up. Me, I don't really care one way or the other. Yeah, and I mean, as long as you're still active and out there, I don't know that your age really matters as far as your EUC opinions go. I mean, there's a certain percentage of the community that only cares about fast, fast, fast. Let's go fast. Let's jump. Let's do extreme things. But that's not the majority of the community. So for those people, they got you. Marty says $1,200 worth of days, but wheels are cheaper now. Regards for bang for the buck. Yes, I remember that was your thesis before, Marty. That based on what you get, the wheels are cheaper. Doesn't feel that way to me. So okay, what do we got here? Oh my goodness, we've gone 3 hours over in the stream. It's 10:35. Okay, yeah, I got to shut this down, guys. I don't know if I ever go this long on a weeknight, especially on Monday night. 3 hour plus stream. I'm actually feeling hoarse in my throat from talking so much. So I will be converting this into a podcast. I still do that on all my live streams. You can check that out on all your favorite podcast platforms. I appreciate everyone stopping in, even Marty stopping in late from California. But I think that's all I got for now. I am tired. I'm tired, but I appreciate all of the participation. Thank you, channel members. Marty is not one of those, but thank you, channel members. Thank you for participation, and I will talk to you guys again soon. I'll put a regular EUC video out there soon. Maybe I'll do a Duncan ride soon. I took off around Veterans Day. I have like a 5-day weekend around Veterans Day, so maybe I'll get something out there around that time frame. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I will talk to you again soon. And until next time, Duffman out.